Hello?
Sorry. Oh, hold
Hey,
on.
yo,
SB Mafia.
Influence,
Hello?
what's up?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's goody?
Hey man,
Yo,
do you
yo.
smell that? Do
You're
you
supposed
smell
to
that?
say, "What's up?"
To SB Rami and the SB Mafia, man. For real, bro. Pure entertainment, bro. That's my family, all right? Yeah, that's my family over there, man. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out, man. For real. Miss V and the Mr. The one and only, the Mr. Bald Man, Mr. Big Back himself. Goddamn SB Rami and the SB Mafia.
Yo, what up, everybody?
Yo, hey,
What up, Phil? Oh.
Rose never lets us down. He's always got the full introduction right there to welcome us and get things rolling.
Look at this guy in the bottom.
I don't reckon. Who is that?
I don't know. He got younger, but oh my god. So shout out to what's up, Beard? A Beard. I was gonna say Kosher, Brian.
What's up? What's up?
None. What's
Hey,
going
yo.
on? Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate everybody for coming through tonight. You know,
Started it over.
starting over. Start from the bottom. Now we're here.
Yep.
So shout out to everybody in the chat. Mo, Straight Toe, Chevy, V, Sneaker J. Who else we got? Roosevelt, Cushy, Robert, Yayo. Man, I'm trying to see. So, appreciate everybody for coming through. You know, I appreciate who we have coming on the stream tonight. Phil, for giving us time to hang out and just talk. If you have any questions, just let us know. I got a bunch of questions people ask me in the Discord, you know, to ask.
I believe it. Super special night.
Yeah, definitely. So it's
What
one
a
of the
way to
bigger
kick
nights
the
for the
weekend
stream.
off.
Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate everyone for coming through, and I appreciate Phil for coming through. So here you go. What up, Phil?
Hey, what's up, guys? How are you?
What's up?
Good. What's happening?
Just chilling.
Happy
don't know if you can see
Monday
the-
night, kicking off the week here.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the comments on the side too. If you got it pulled up, it shows you everything on the side. So
Yeah, I do see the comments in the chat. I just for some reason I can't type back. But,
okay. No problem.
I do see everyone. So thanks for having me. It's an honor to be here, and I love all the SBs I see in the background. It's super sick. So I'm ready to get into it. Whatever you guys want to find out.
You already know.
Oh, we got a bazillion questions. Bazillion questions.
I'm sure some you can answer, some you can't, and a little bit in between.
Phil is the master collaborator. Robert
He
Ross said.
is. I think only right to kind of give Phil a little introduction, Rami, if you want to kind of roll it out, tell the people who don't know, and kind of welcome them to the channel and everything else along the way here.
Yeah. So if you guys know, Phil is the owner, creator of Unheardof brand. So if any of you guys follow Phil on his Instagram, on Unheardof brand, you'll see all the awesome collaborations they do with Adidas. Other brands, they have their own brand. So yeah, awesome store. Great. They're out of Cincinnati, Ohio. So yeah.
A Midwesterner in the house here. Yeah, and many more and things that you guys probably are familiar with, and other things that you had no idea about. So, but definitely a big part of the sneaker community, a big part of the culture. And he does it in the right way. I think that's what at least from an outsider looking in makes him successful. So thank you for being here, and thank you for coming through the channel tonight.
Yeah, definitely.
Mr. Kosher, how's it going here? What made you decide to
shave the beard?
So he didn't know he had a beard like this long before today.
It's throwing me off a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, though. It's throwing me off here a little bit. So seeing this guy without the beard right now, so it's one way to kick it off right here.
That's it with the red.
So welcome everybody in the chat as you guys are rolling through. Tonight's a little bit about you guys, in all honesty, and kind of throwing some questions out to the chat. And of course, we've got a few along the way. I know Kosher has a few along the way that he's kind of curious and wants to talk about a little bit. So, but just to kind of kick it off a little bit, Phil, I mean, where did kind of Unheardof come from, and kind of what gave you kind of a little bit of the inspiration to get started and going?
So if you want to start early background, I started out at 15 years old at a skate shop called AAA Skate Shop in Florence, Kentucky. One of the very first skate shops in the Midwest. I started there at 15, being the grip kid and the garbage kid and the toilet scrubber. And then within 7-8 months, turned into a buyer shop manager at 16. So never went to school, was always at the skate shop. And we opened up a second door, and that became like my door in Covington, Kentucky. And just we were one of the first SB accounts. So I really ran that until the owners kind of decided that they no longer wanted to do it. In a lot of interviews and things, I've talked about how my best friend went pro at skateboarding. That was Alex Davis. He was pro for Adidas skateboarding when Adidas skateboarding started. He actually quit Nike SB to go to Adidas skateboarding, and we were all like, "You're an idiot." But
yeah, right.
yeah, but Adidas took really good care of him and flew him around a bunch. Did some really cool stuff. He's in a lot of commercials with like Gonzalez and Kevin Garnett, Missy Elliott, and stuff. So we kind of blew up in the skateboarding scene. Me and Al, we were like a 1-2 combo. There's another dude, Chris Anderson, that was really good at skating, who also worked at the shop. He was like, he skated for like DVS and Alien Workshop as well. And yeah, kind of, you know, I never went pro, never even went AM. I was a flow kid. I got flowed by a team manager, and I got flowed by a shop rep. So I was kind of double dipping there. So I ended up getting more boards than Al. And then, you know, was selling them on the side to kind of like pave the way for my life and stuff. But after AAA, I went and did some marketing skating for Red Bull when Red Bull kind of came on the scene.
Oh, man.
And because I had the connection with Alien Workshop and Red Bull and skateboarding, I got to do some really cool events with like Rob Dyrdek and Josh Kalis, and I kind of got into the marketing things pretty fast. And then there was an opportunity for me to go over to Anonymous Skate Shop, which is here in Cincinnati, Ohio, so 15 minutes away from where I'm from. And or 15 minutes from AAA. It was like 5 minutes from where I'm from. And got an opportunity to work at Anonymous, and then pretty much took it over and ran that. I did all the merch for them, all the boards, kind of turned them into a private label. Anonymous was one of the original 10 SB accounts. Had some connections there very early. Yeah, so Anonymous opened in 99. AAA did open in 96, so it was older. But Anonymous had more of like an iconic skate team. They definitely were known like in New York and LA for their culture and the skate scene. A lot of pros came through Cincinnati. Fat Nick, who started Anonymous, was a pretty famous photographer, started Strength Magazine. He also started Scribble Jam, which they're making a documentary about right now. And
I know about Scribble Jam.
All right, cool. So yeah, so like Scribble Jam has a documentary coming out. I was like their first intern, but basically I made all their merch, and I learned all that because of skateboarding. And when I started skating at 14, I immediately made our first t-shirt. And cool. for my crew. So I wanted to learn more about that, and I started working at a local screen print shop, and that's kind of how everything falls into formation there. Just trial and error, and doing what I loved, and just, you know, couldn't have the money to buy skate clothes or skate shoes, so kind of learned how to make them myself at a pretty early age, and just showed up at the silk screen shop, started cleaning the screens and stuff, and then the guy taught me how to separate screens, how to do Illustrator, and kind of like build my own brand essentially.
It's kind of exciting too, because it sounds like you were around all these people that, you know, just really are now really high up in the industry. Like, I mean, especially with Dyrdek, and then his passion and marketing, and then not only that, but just a lot of hard work along the way. But it seems like a lot of these people kind of helped, you know, you were kind of a right place, right time at a lot of these places as well.
In a sense, I definitely go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. And then just putting in that hard work behind everything along the way there.
Yeah. So I'm definitely like, it's funny because I definitely skated with some of the top pros in the world, and I was that hard work skateboarder. I had like 10, 12 tricks on lock that I could do better than anybody in the game. But, you know,
Which
my
is
buddy
good.
Alex had 100 tricks, right? And he was better and smoother than anybody in the game. So I kind of definitely rode his coattails a little bit. The thing about me is I definitely, every time we met an opportunity, Al would always be killing it, doing the demo, getting all the, you know, crazy footage. I would get 1 or 2 tricks, but then I'd start talking to like the sales manager or the sales director. And, you know, we fast forward with this whole Nike SB thing. We went to like the first Nike SB ASR trade show in San Diego. Al went pro that night. I had a meltdown. I want to say I was 18, and there was a huge after party that Nike SB just launched. And like we couldn't get in because we were too young. We were 18, 19 instead of 21. And we snuck in, and I was having this like mental breakdown, and Sandy Bodecker put his arm around me like, yo, what's wrong? Like what's happening? And I was like, my best friend's turning pro, and the team manager, who was Tony Heights, told me that like I should get a job as a sales rep. And you know, and it just like really hit. Like I couldn't keep up. It was like, you know, pretty quick, you know, because I started at about 14, 15. And by 18, it hit me like there's no way I can keep up with these guys in LA. I mean, we're a totally different skate crew in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Northern Kentucky. Like we do ledges, we're super steezy. We try to like do a crooked grind for 100 feet instead of like, you know, switch kick flip to switch crook to not, you know, fakey flip out or something. Like these guys were just going crazy. And then we saw them doing, you know, 10, 15, you know, 18 stairs and handrails, you know, and it was just like, there's no way I could keep up with that. So it was like real fast. I had to figure it out really quick what was going to happen to me in my life. So that was
and
like
18
my first
years old.
Yeah. Yep.
Insane.
Pretty early.
Insane.
So
welcome, Influence.
What's up? What's up?
So you were born and raised in Cincinnati or Kentucky?
So Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky is like quarter mile apart.
Yeah, they're right next to each
by
other.
It's separated by the Ohio River. So I was born in Cincinnati, then we moved to Covington, and I grew up in Covington, which is just right across the river.
And how old are you?
Right now, I'm 40.
Okay, I was just trying to get a general timeline of like when this whole thing started. Back when you were 15 years old, when actually that was. So
yeah, I definitely got my first board at 14, but at 15 I was never home, skateboarding every night, skated every night in downtown Cincinnati. It was like a 15-minute skate from where we lived in Covington.
Latonio. What was your first board?
Sean Sheffy Girl. Steve Smith gave it to me.
And you can't even skate. You can't even skate most of the year back there. That's what's crazy too. You're so limited, you know, during some of the cooler months in the winter and things like that. I'm sure too. So the California people go all day.
Well, he skated all through the winter.
They would
stop you, huh?
They would take off the trucks and go snowboarding.
No, you couldn't do that, but we definitely shoveled all the snow up and would shovel spots and stuff for sure.
Well, it wasn't Red Bull. I feel like Red Bull at that time was like they were into like racing and things like that. Like they were kind of really coming around at that moment too. Like so what were you doing with Red Bull at that time?
So now we're jumping to when I was like 20.
Okay.
And basically I got paid to go to skate parks and hand out Red Bull to skateboarders, and then Ohio and Michigan have really, really big indoor skate parks, like huge skate parks, like 10,000, 15,000 square feet skate parks. And we would put on demos. So for the state of Ohio and Michigan, we did a tour with like Josh Kalis. My homie Franzi, who's in Turnstile, was also part of this crew. And basically we would travel with Red Bull, do a marketing budget, hand out Red Bull and skate, you know, with 2 or 3 big pros, hand out the stuff. And there would always be like a BMXer there too. And then in the wintertime, we would do snowboarding events and stuff like that. And then I was around when Red Bull started the NASCARs. So I got to do some cool stuff with like the NASCAR team and stuff too. Honestly, at Anonymous, I really went all in on Red Bull. I really thought that like I was going to be this like marketing, like team manager role at Red Bull, I pitched, I made so many resumes that like lied about all my stats and what my qualifications are, because I never went to college, and I didn't even get a high school degree on graduation. And the dude who's Fat Nick, who started Anonymous, was like, this is your calling, like you could be this like marketing dude, because they would hire these dudes that like didn't skate, didn't like snowboard, didn't do anything, and they were making $200K a year to manage this like semi amateur pro sports marketing team for Red Bull, because it was a wakeboarder, a snowboarder, a skater, BMXer, and we would go around and do all these cool events. Then I lost that job and they hired a bunch of hot chicks. So
that was that time period. All of them were going that way. It seemed like.
That's
too.
about right.
So you didn't feel like you were hot enough at that time, right? You couldn't make it happen. Huh? You're like, oh man, no, I'm just teasing. That's crazy though. And all that at 20 too.
Yeah, that was like 20 because I opened Unheardof at 23. So
okay, where did you get the name Unheardof from? Like, where did that come up? Where did the inspiration come for Unheardof? When did that all of a sudden the epiphany come out that you came up with this name, that you wanted to start this brand, or did it start out as something else and morphed into Unheardof?
Yeah, so I lost my sister at a really, really early age.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, she was like my biggest fan. When I was 16, 17, 18, I was like really killing it on a skateboard. Like I said, I skated with some of the top pros. So I low-key had a small fan base in Northern Kentucky and Cincinnati of high school kids.
Right.
And we built 3 gnarly skate parks here in our area. So this is the height of everything, like BAM, MTV, Deer Deck, everything.
Right.
So there'd be like 2,000, 3,000 kids at the skate park. And, half of them didn't even skate. They were just hanging. And I knew all the pros. I knew all the girls at the skate park. I knew all the like posers and the dudes that bought all the merch, and I just broke down with everybody. And so I kind of became this like middleman between the pros and then like these fans. So all these young kids started coming. And my sister caught on to it, and she started hanging out with me. And then she'd go around the skate park and be like, "That's my brother." And I would get in the mix of the demo and do like 1 or 2 tricks.
Was she older sister, younger sister?
No, she was younger. So I lost her. She was 15, and I kind of always wanted to really do something in her honor. And when I went to Anonymous, Fat Nick really made me like earn my role in skate culture of Cincinnati, and he put me through the ringer. But once I proved him wrong, and I started doing all the deck graphics, and I started doing all the clothes, and I really saw like his side of the lens of the creativity of skateboarding. And then I saw like his brother's side of the business. And then you saw my side of just being like the hustler and like realizing like a lot of people who don't skate want to support the skate shop. And like I bridge that gap between, the business and the creative thing. Okay, and we started a private label. And at one day I just woke up and I was like, I only have, they gave me 10% of the business. And I was like, I really got to like do something for myself and move forward. And, I asked Nick like multiple times for his help. And, he really guided me and really supported me and stood up for me. And, when he finally was like, all right, let's do a second store. What do you want to call it? It was like, it just came to me. I said, Unheardof. And he was like, why do you want to be Unheardof? I was like, because it's the little sister to Anonymous. And I feel like the reason I try so hard and I work so hard and I haven't given up on myself this whole time is because my little sister would never want to see me fail. She was my biggest fan, and like, she was just, my spirit animal. And, I just wanted to really dedicate like everything and anything I could to her. And when I said that name that day with Nick, I knew like, Unheardof's going to go to the top. Like I'm going to like challenge, all these stores that we visited in New York and LA and Berlin and Paris and Miami. I was like, Unheardof's going to be one of the top stores. And, I wanted to just be the little sister of Anonymous, because I'll never be able to replace the history of what Anonymous created in the skate scene. Yeah. And, I can nerd out about skate shit all day long, just like you guys can nerd out about dunks all day long. But like in the skate scene, I mean, it was like Anonymous, Uprise, Supreme. Like those were your top three, and I said them backwards. But yeah, I mean, Anonymous was it, man. I mean, they were in all the magazines. They made all the videos and like had big time pros, and so I was really humbled, and it was cool to be like the little kid in that crew.
So, question, like, so say Cincinnati is, you don't always think of streetwear when you think of Cincinnati. Like, is there something like around your environment that shaped the brand?
Just I mean, I don't say that Unheardof is a streetwear brand.
Okay.
Me personally, I say Unheardof is just a lifestyle brand of me. Like,
interesting.
Anonymous, like I said, Nick, he did Strength Magazine. He started Scribble Jam. Eminem got discovered at Scribble Jam. Cause and Dalek came to Scribble Jam and did graffiti. It's the birthplace of like the MC battles and the breakdancing battles. And so to me, it's like Unheardof is just the lifestyle of me. Like, I love art. I love skateboard culture. I love graphic design. I love architecture, and obviously I love my grandma and my sister. So
Yeah,
Unheardof. I don't like to say the word streetwear. I just like to say Unheardof is Unheardof. It's its own identity.
Gotcha.
Okay, moving forward, just have a question. Like, there's one question that has been on my mind since I knew about you coming on, and one of my favorite shoes ever was the Nasty Boys. And obviously it's about Major League Baseball with the Cincinnati Reds. Obviously, yeah, I have it too. I just didn't pull it out. He's got the Oakland Athletic.
For the chat.
So I know that there was a cease and desist on this shoe particularly. How did even it come about with Nike SB to be able to do the shoe? And then on top of that, I don't think it was the actual shoe that got the cease and desist. I think it was the packaging that got the cease and desist. Correct?
No.
Because I'm thinking like, how can they say to stop that shoe? It really has no tie to Major League Baseball just by the word Nasty Boy. I mean, I'm very confused on how that happened, and how did Nike SB come about in the first place, and then if you could talk about that would be great.
So just in this timeline, you're jumping 7 years now.
I was gonna say you went way. I before you get too far into it here, because I'm so curious, like Coach. What was kind of like, what got you started since your first shoe collaboration? Are we at that timeline yet, or we still haven't got there yet? For your first shoe collab.
I mean, there were a couple things that we did at Anonymous that were really cool, but not shoe. Like we did a collab with Deluxe. So we did a skateboard series for like Keith Huffnagel, rest in peace, Nate Jones. We did a set of trucks called the Ohio Players trucks that I designed. But we pitched, when Adidas skateboarding started, we pitched a bunch of ideas. And then Fat Nick's brother-in-law, Denny Kinley, invented the Booznits. So I was super tapped in with Adidas skateboarding when they started. The team manager, Tony Heights at Alien Workshop, did the trifecta Scribble Jam FC Low, which also came out at the same time as the Tiffany Low. So that's that team. He's part of that. Yeah, that's that team manager series. So when Tony did the FC shoe, which I did not help with, but once it dropped and came out and we smoked like 300 pairs or something on Anonymous, that's when I was like, I'm gonna pitch more ideas now. Like, I'm really gonna go for it. Because I started meeting all the developers and general managers. Like I said, I met Sandy Bodecker at a super young age.
I was going to say, don't forget, rewind a little bit. He's talking Sandy Bodecker at what, 18 years old, you're saying?
Yeah, and then
he met him. I mean, so early on, years before you got involved with them.
Yeah, Sandy introduced me to a dude named Rob Sissy, who was like the first Nike SB rep. One of them, and then also introduced me to Jerry McCree, who was like the first Nike sportswear rep. when Nike Sportswear started. So that's kind of how Unheardof got its Nike account, was by this like general conversation of like, you know, hey, it's okay, you're not going to go pro, but you could do other things in skate. Like, what else are your other ideas? And I just farted this idea out to Sandy Bodecker at this event. I was like, I want to do a shoe store. I want to sell Air Maxes and skate shoes at the same time. Because if you think about it, there's not a lot of us out there that sell NSW and Nike SB.
No.
No.
So like Concepts, Premier, Unheardof, Undefeated, like that's really, as far as like North America, of like established accounts that kind of like dabble in both and really like have a great following in both. That's, in my eyes, that's where it's at. But fast forward to Anonymous, we started mocking up and designing stuff pretty fast, because the fact that we were able to design skateboards for real, Nike was like, whoa, that's really cool. Like, no one does that. It's like Supreme and that's it. So
right.
We did this whole real thing, and the internet went or Thrasher magazine went crazy for it and stuff. So we actually pitched, I pitched a shoe. I designed a shoe called the First Date Dunk. And they laughed at me in the meeting. And look, I was 20 years old, but I probably looked 15. I had like the swoop hair. My hair was straight. I think I was wearing like a Billionaire Boys Club polo when I presented, and a pair of like, I don't know, fancy Air Force Ones or something. And I presented while like Ed Salego was in there, who started MIA Skate Shop, and he skated for Habitat. Somebody from maybe Jeff Pang was there from Supreme or something. Anyways, like it was like these like Hall of Fame skaters and skate accounts, and I pitched this like First Date shoe, and I swear to God, it was, and I got approval from, there's an ice cream place here called Grader's Ice Cream, and it was the black raspberry chocolate chip high and the mint chocolate chip Dunk Low, and we were gonna do this whole like cute little thing of like a guy and a girl going skating together, and like they got the scoop of ice cream as their first date. It was this whole like 15-16-year-old kind of like vibe. We did a thing on YouTube with Diamond Supply Dunk Low, where the guys like go into the jewelry store to propose, and you know, the diamond dunks in the case. So it was kind of going to be something like cute and funny like that, like you know, pretty innocent, pretty Blink 182, some 41 vibes. And yeah, they laughed us out of the room. So
so that was your first like true sneaker pitch right there, where you're like, all right, so that went well, but not really.
Yeah, and at that time, Rob Sissy, like super rad dude, like definitely a pioneer in the skate game and at Nike SB, was just like, bro, you can't, you know, we're doing stuff with Zoo York and Danny Supa, and like, you can't be this like cute little boy like trying to pitch these ideas. Like, who do you think you are, Baby Deerdeck? And I was like, well,
I'm trying.
He's like, you know, and the quote he said is like, nobody wants shoes that are like a pack of lifesavers, you know, saying like, you're too colorful, you're too loud, like, and you know, we want black, white, black. We want like cool, like edgy stories, and you know, that just wasn't me.
Little did they know you were so far ahead at that point already, this little, you know, 20-year-old, because now everything, you know, what a turn, you know, from plain to loud, you know, everything's loud nowadays. So
we'll get to that. So
oh yeah.
So then we switched reps, and actually my old DC rep, who also at one point flowed me and stuff, became the Nike SB rep. And so you got to think, like, if you go back to 2015 when we did the Nasty Boy, the famous quote, "Dunks are dead," was the slogan. You know, you had your straight meats, your tinfoil pizza, Starbucks dunk, Loch Ness Monster, Creature of the Black Lagoon. Like, we can go on and on about like these dunks that like were whack or whatever. So they were looking for new ideas, new stories, and that's when I pitched the 1990 World Series pack. And the reason I pitched it is because we were super early on with social media. We were crushing it with like Twitter and Instagram at the time, and this is 2015. So I was really into the whole hashtag. of 1990 SB, and sometimes you can like hit it and go back and see like old posts. So yeah,
Ooh,
I
that's a
just
great
pitched them
idea.
this. Yeah, I pitched them this whole 1990 SB thing, and they were like, "Why?" I was like, "Because I have such a chip on my shoulder, like the Dynasty team." And they're like, "What do you mean the Dynasty team?" So basically, this like Reds team, started in the playoffs, and everybody wrote them off right away and just said, they're trash, they'll never make it. Lo and behold, they get to the World Series, and they were like,
Right.
"Oh, they'll get smoked by the Bash Bros. Like they'll, hit a home run off every pitch." And the Reds swept them, right? So they came in and like clean house, blew everybody off their seats, and I remember that in 1990, and I remember just like realizing how crazy that was. And here in Cincinnati, all people ever talk about is the Big Red Machine.
Of course.
Oh,
That's
I'm
the
sure.
greatest team in baseball history. Like beat the
Yeah.
Yankees. Like that's all we ever hear, and they never really talk about the 1990 team. So I pitched them this 2-shoe pack. I wanted to do the low and the high. One day I'll get back on this call with you and show you the actual samples. I was telling Rami I was in the process of renovating the house, and I got everything kind of boxed up, so I don't have no shoes or samples. I'd love to show you guys. They've never seen the light of day, but kind of think of a buck high.
Be amazing.
Was what the original sample kind of looked like because it had a black tongue.
Right.
And there were some really cool things I wanted to do to the shoe that they wouldn't let me do to the shoe. But I threw the Nasty Boy name on the back. No one really knew who it was. And this dude, Sean Baravetto, who's made some of the greatest shoes at Nike SB, and James Arizumi. I wrote them this, love letter like, "Hey, it's Phil Lipschutz. I was the wear tester for P-Rod when P-Rod 1, P-Rod 2 came out. Anonymous Skate Shop. Here's my idea. Please just hear me out on this before you throw it away like they did my first date idea.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you why 1990 SB could be a real thing." So they heard me out. They loved the idea. My Nike SB rep, Mike Buckman, really goes by Bookworm, really, put a good word in for me. And I just told him, like, here's what I want to do. Here's the activation. Here's the boxes. And they were like, "All right, we'll give you a shot. It's kind of sick. Dunks are dead." And so they presented it to the reps. They presented it to the merchandisers. And lo and behold, the shoes became a pre-book instead of a quick strike. So
Wow.
I was pissed.
Oh, man.
Yeah, because they were open to buy at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like they weren't like, if you look at stuff now and collabs now, one, shops have their name on it, and two, they're quick strikes. So meaning like they'll make 2,000 pairs to 10,000 pairs. At that time, they were probably making 5,000 pairs max. It was like the two highest booked SBs in that like 2-year window. And they came out
So
at Christmas.
when you say pre-book, you mean like the shops could take, like, they could submit how many pairs they wanted to buy up front versus just being told how many they were going to get, kind of?
Yeah, because a quick strike, like in the old days at that time, you didn't even know. There were no meetings. They didn't show quick strikes. You just got a box of like 12, 18 pairs max. If you were a good account, you got like 24. And you open it up and you're like, "Oh shit, what are these dunks?" And then you got to log on Nike Talk and figure it out. So this was open to buy. So meaning they would go to sales meetings and my dunks would be sitting there like, "Oh, this is a Reds dunk. This is an Oakland dunk." And I think because of the materials at that time and the colors, people were super hyped on them. So people bought the shit out of them.
Well, not only that, they are badass shoes. Let's just be honest. I mean, they're badass shoes.
So it gets worse. So then like CCS Tactics, a couple other, maybe Active, I don't know, a few other like stores put them on their website for like $69.99. And I already had in my head, I got to sell them for $125 because I made the baseball card boxes and the gum, the cards, all that stuff. So these people had them like 3 weeks before we even had them, and had them on sale. Then they were on eBay for like,
bazillion dollars.
No, open the buy like $60.
Wow.
So they're preset the price before you guys even got the chance to like put the price
just
in?
people jumped the gun before we even got them. So they were
okay.
They were essentially a brick before we even got them. And this is like early on in eBay, right? Like in eBay culture and dunk culture of eBay and reselling. And yeah, I was a nervous wreck. And so there, yeah, for about 2.5, 3 weeks, people had them before we did. And then I just kept telling myself, I would look in the mirror and, you know, tell myself like, man, when they see this box, it's gonna be nuts. Like they're gonna go fucking nuts. I know they're gonna go nuts. So we leaked the photos of the box, and then like organically Hypebeast posted it, Sneaker Freaker, Complex, like it just organically took off, and everybody went berserk. So that's when the cease and desist came in. So basically how the cease and desist worked is Major League Baseball, from what I've been told, and I've been told from a very high source that this is how it went down.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball called Nike Baseball because they have reps. And they were like, what the fuck? Like, we didn't sign off on this. You're using our likeness. You don't have permission to do this. You don't have the licensing of the Major League Baseball. How are you doing this? So the director in the building at Nike Baseball picked up the phone and called the degenerates over at Nike SB and were like, what the fuck are you doing? You can't be doing this shit. You know, recall all the shoes, cease and desist them. We, you know, got all this shit. So that actually went down. So the shoe was originally supposed to be like a June release to celebrate the World Series. Because it was supposed to be that. Then it was going to be Red October before, like, you know, I even thought of Kanye. But if you Google 1990 World Series, there's articles that write Red October because the Reds swept the Oakland A's. I was never going to call them Red October, but I just said like, oh, they could release in October because of, you know, the anniversary of the World Series. And then they ended up being a Christmas release. So, yeah, that December 5th was our release date because across the street from the shop is the convention center, and they have a thing called Reds Fest. And it'd be like 10,000 Reds fans in line to meet Pete Rose, Eric Davis, like Jay Bruce, Joey Votto, like all the top Reds players were at this thing signing autographs. So I was like, I'll do a huge window display and we'll steal all the Reds
in a
fans.
heartbeat.
And then it just like dunk culture, the internet took off, and then Reds, you know, baseball took off, and it just blew up. And then the box photos came out. So it was the day of our release. My rep was like, your shoes got cease and desist. And I literally,
oh my God,
I literally threw up. I literally threw up. I started crying straight up. And he's like, what's wrong? I'm like, dude, this was my one shot at like, I was like, you don't understand. Like, for me to get this made through Baravetto, James Arizumi, like get it over the top of Rob Sissy, like this was my one fucking shot, and I just got cease and desist. And he's like, buddy, you're in the Hall of Fame now, dude. Like, you're Freddy Krueger. You're the new Freddy Krueger. And I'm like, you guys will never give me another shot. Like, this is it. I'm fucked. And then I started getting calls like to the shop from other shop owners, like, you just ruined the dunk. You fucking killed SB. Blah blah blah.
No.
Yeah,
oh,
dude.
You serious?
And,
so you're getting nasty calls from shops now over this, basically.
Yeah, because the dunk was in a bad spot, and then this was the time, kind of like what's happening right now. Like shops were closing left and right. Business was tough. The economy was terrible, and like things weren't just hitting for the dunk. And you know, these guys went all in on pre-booking. You know, this was the first time they could write like 50 pairs or 60 pairs. I'm sure shops were doing a couple hundred pairs, and you know, to go like 2 years without that and then finally hit it for Christmas, you know, guys were like, okay, we're about to make our quarter in one weekend. And then
that's what I was saying. That's huge for a lot of these shops too, because, you know, some are small, some are big, like not everybody's tactics and CCS, right? So like to have that big order like that where they were kind of just knowing that, you know, they were going to hit a lick by the time they let all these pairs go, and then all of a sudden just, you know, the rug gets pulled out from under them, you know. So
so it was the box that actually brought the attention to the shoe then, right?
Well, no, because if the original article on Hypebeast was just the shoes, it was just it was a first of its kind. Like I said, Nike Baseball, somebody at Nike Baseball got offended. And like I did get a lawsuit in the mail. I had an attorney that wanted to represent me, whose retainer was like $3,000 an hour out of New York City. Like we got documentation from Major League Baseball out of New York City.
They tried to come after, even though you were doing it through Nike, they still tried to come at you directly, huh?
Yeah, Nike was like, here he is. Here's his
talk about passing the buck. Oh my God.
They put you up on a platter, buddy.
Yeah. So yeah. The next day, so we spent all night. I sold them. I mean, I saw somebody on here in the chat saying like they got a phone call from me like at wee hours in the night. So basically, we had, I don't know, we had like, I think 250 pairs per color in special box. I think that's what I made. I'm pretty positive.
Okay.
Yeah, it was 500 total pairs. So a Fleer box and Tops box. We never got a cease and desist from Fleer or Tops. They hit us up like, can we buy a pair? You know what I mean? Yeah.
Because looking back, Major League, they missed out, and Nike missed out. I mean, because you know, I think if it wouldn't have been for the moment, and it wouldn't have been for the fact that things have been a little more quiet and the so-called dunk is dead, you know, going on, that maybe they would have given them a little bit more gas in the tank to try to move forward with it a little bit, or to work with them to do it and move forward, you know?
But I also think this is a time when like players could only wear white and black cleats. You know what I mean? Like
kind of like what was in basketball too back in the 80s.
Yeah, there was like a lot of old rules still in place, right? But anyways, we got the cease and desist. You know, we sold out. We had Big Cartel at the time. We tried to put them online. That's the first time I got bought it. We canceled all the orders, and then I was on the phone till probably 3 or 4 in the morning, calling random people off of Twitter. Like I put a tweet out like, send me your number, I'll do a phone order. And my Nike rep was like, you're insane. Like, why would you do that? And I was like,
well, because you get lawyer fees too. You got Nike.
Well, I was like, well, no, it wasn't. It wasn't that. But I was also like, he was like, you know, basically the call is going to come in tomorrow at 9 a.m. So you got between now and 9 a.m. to get rid of your stuff. Because we went like 3 days before the general release. Because I fought hard to get a release date. And, you know, he was like saying, why are you calling all these people? Like, and I was like, because I want them to go to guys like you. Like, I want them to go to dunk heads as well. Like, we already served our fan base here in Cincinnati. I want to reach a new fan base that's out of Cincinnati and get these shoes to like dunk collectors. And that was the first like time that I really used the internet to kind of like communicate with people in other cities and other states. And, you know, some people say it's backdooring. I just say, you know, it's networking. You know, I was constantly trying to. Yeah, I mean, and, you know, like I said, I saw somebody here in the chat like, yo, I was one of those people that got the phone call.
So let me ask you then, how many pairs do you think are out there? So you said you had total 250. Yeah, like you had 250 roughly special box.
In the special
pairs.
Box. Yeah.
So how many do you think got out there outside of that?
I don't know. I would guesstimate probably 10,000 per color.
Okay. All right. So 10,000. That's pretty limited stock then. That's for sure. That's pretty limited.
But at that time, that's a lot. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, there's shoes right now that are like 3,000 pairs, you know, that are made by SB. So.
But really quick, think about that though. How many times do you see these two shoes out in the wild or in someone's collection?
Here all the time.
Well, that's
It's a thing here.
Like you represent back home.
But I do. Yeah, you guys would be blown away by like the shoe collectors here and the dunk heads. But it has been times I've been in random places where I've seen those shoes. I think a lot of people watch this stuff, follow this stuff, have their collections, but never post. I think there's a ton of that out there in the marketplace.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people that don't.
I went to Page, Arizona, to Upper Antelope Canyon, a sacred Native American canyon that you have to be walked through by the chief. And the guy looks at me, and this is 2018 or 2019. Guy looks at me head to toe. He's like a 7'2" Native American. Chief, like Nasty Boy Phil? And I'm like, what the fuck?
What?
He's like, he literally was like, I love baseball. I got both of them, Bash Bros and I was like, no way.
That's
We're in the
awesome.
middle of the
Seriously.
desert in a canyon, and the Native American
got
chief goes,
both.
Nasty Boy Phil. So like, yeah, I think baseball fans, you know, are also in this whole thing too. You know.
So did you get kind of a nickname from it back in the day then? Was that kind of like a nickname you were known by at all, or just the way he called you that at the time?
No, that was just, you know,
It's him.
that was
Okay.
just him. Yeah, no.
Just
Well,
his way of putting it together. 'Cause
just-
it actually ties. Kind of.
Just FYI, you're the only SB dunk. If I could, I'm almost certain. Influence could back me up on this. That has an American flag on the side of the shoe. The only SB dunk. I don't think that there's another one.
Oh,
with an
like
American
on
flag.
the side. I mean, the
No, no.
what's the
Side.
names? The
Well,
On
Born
the-
in the USA is like the
I was
whole
gonna
shoe,
say
but
the
it's not
Born
the
in the
whole
USA.
flag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to say I
But-
might be the only Nike shoe with the
I
flag.
think
That's
I
correct.
think you might
Because
be
Betsy
actually,
Ross
'cause,
got
yeah.
cease and desist and
the
canceled.
the only
Yeah.
shoe that has a American kind of flag on it is the lunar landing Air Maxes.
Oh, that's right.
On,
That's right.
on the back, and that's it.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
'cause
the
they
actual
have
whole
the
flag-
Puerto Rican flag on the Air Maxes, right? But not
The actual
American.
American flag, the whole American flag, you are the only shoe that has it.
And the
Yeah.
amount of people that have come up to me and said I put the flag on backwards.
Oh, here you go. Never mind. Here
Oh,
you
they're
go.
on
Oh, the
tongue. Right, right,
Dorenbeckers.
right.
There we go. The Dorenbeckers.
Oh, the
it is on the
Dorenbeckers.
tongue.
Norm
That's
Becker
right.
But
and-
wait, but was the Doorbacker after me? What year?
Yeah.
What's the born tag on
Oh
that?
yeah,
That's
this
true.
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
True.
2018.
2018.
So it did.
2018, and then this is
Here you go, Tawfiq.
2010.
For all we
Alright,
know,
so
they
I
got
don't
their
have
inspiration
Bruce
from that. Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Before Nasty Boy, how many baseball dunks were out there? How many we got
I don't
now?
know. I don't know of any back then,
Oh
but
yeah,
yeah,
he
now
had a
there's
whole.
plenty.
Right,
You
yeah,
got the
you
San
got-
Francisco Giants. You got the New
Got
York
that four
Mets.
pack. The four pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Dodgers.
four pack.
Dodgers, yeah, you got a whole
Dodgers.
bunch of them now, basically. The
Yeah.
way and actually, did
Yeah.
the Dodgers have in the tongue? Actually, they have the
No, they're just
no,
banners.
yeah, they have just the banner.
This
on
is
the
this is
inside,
this
no,
is
no
my
flag.
this is my unofficial like Battle of the Bay dunk.
So the reason I bring that up is because all the reps that talk shit about me and were like calling me a poser all did baseball dunks, you know,
After.
a few
After
years
the
later.
fact.
It's
After the
crazy, yeah.
fact.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
They
that
all
is
were
funny
trying-
how that works out.
Yep. They were
So
all
is that another reason why you decided to do? I mean, obviously you said you were doing Adidas prior to getting the Nike thing, but have you ever tried doing a Nike thing again by chance or no?
all right. This is a world premiere.
Oh,
Right after
my
we got cease and desist, 2016, I pitched Grandma's Couch to Nike SB, and they laughed me out of the room again.
Oh no!
Oh no!
So Nike did after you pitched that to them?
You see that? 2016.
Wow!
And I showed up with this presentation. No computer, no emailing. I literally showed up, threw this on the counter, gave everybody a pamphlet, and I said, "This is the story I want to tell next."
Wow!
Grandma's
they-
Couch.
And they
then there's-
laughed you out of the room, huh?
Skater
There's-
homies always got to meet.
Yep, there's my homie Al Davis. There's me, and then if you see in this photo, there's Grandma, and then in the way back, there's Erica in the background.
Oh my god,
Okay.
that's crazy.
So yeah, this is the pamphlet I
Jeez.
made. And then there's the dunk high. That was Grandma's Couch dunk high.
Jeez.
Oh my god, that thing is so freaking sick too.
And then
Y'all know I love my dunk highs.
there's the
Yep.
merch. Remember the SB belts?
Yes.
Yeah.
I miss them doing a lot of the different merch to go with things too. It's kind of sad that they don't do as much nowadays.
That's
Here's
crazy.
there's the flower pattern, the original flower pattern that me and my grandma and grandpa made.
Yeah, because of
I like it. I like it on a dunk, man. I mean, I love the Adidas too. Don't get
Does
me
that
wrong,
look-
but
Does that
Oh,
look
the
familiar?
blazer style.
Blazer.
Yeah. It sure
I
does.
like that.
What's that look like?
God, the way
That's
wait,
Mom's ugly couch.
yeah,
oh,
the other colorway.
yeah.
And then there's the matching apparel for that too.
Wow.
Um,
And so you went.
there's
Did
the
you?
special bags. grandma's
Oh,
couch,
man.
photos with grandma on the couch, and then the clear plastic bag.
Yeah, that the clear
the
plastic
box.
bag too, to me, like that just completes it right there. When you think of that too,
Mhm.
having that clear plastic
So
bag around it like that.
you presented this to Nike SB, they turned you down, and then you went to Adidas afterwards with this, and no,
No, this was
That's
this is
2016.
This is
That's 2016. Yeah,
I
'cause that we're
understand.
fast
I
forwarding to
understand.
This is like January or February of 2016. I pitched this.
Okay.
early.
Because we were at that time, we like I said, we were all over Complex. We were all over like Hype
So your
Beast.
name was buzzing right now. It was the perfect time to take it in there. Because
Yeah,
how
so
often were
I
they
like
allowing
immediately.
outsiders to come in and pitch like that? I mean, was that a normal thing to let you come through and pitch like that, even on back to the original one, or were they just because I would think it would be just through the team and
No one pitched. I just
yeah.
went for it. You know what
That's
I mean?
what I
Usually,
mean. Like that alone seems like that would have been a big deal actually, because they're just not taking a bunch of outside pitches from people like that because they're I'm sure using their team and then their riders and things like that at the time.
yeah. I mean, usually the merchandisers or the creative director or all these people, they basically would sit down and be like, all right, this is the shop they want to work with. Where I would sit down and be like, hey guys, like let me pitch you this idea, take this deck, like let's run through it together.
Yeah.
But yeah, it started to go. So here's what happened. If you there's some articles out there about me being chippy about it. Basically, this went to Baravetto's desk, Arazumi's desk. It was getting ready to go into sampling. A merchandiser came in from PacSun, picked it up, went, whoa, sick idea, and then made the Janowski slip on. So the Janowski slip was kind of stolen from my idea, sold directly to PacSun, and then they try to sell it, because there's different tiers at Nike, right?
Yep.
They try to get the skate reps to sell it to accounts, and everybody boycotted it. So that's why the Janowski slip never really went to skate accounts. It was only at PacSun. So
Interesting.
they kind of they stole the idea.
So everybody held the line.
Yeah,
Was
and
that your last pitch then to Nike at that point?
No, I pitched. So I went out to Nike campus. Maybe 2019, and I pitched another shoe about candy, because every year I hand out king size candy bars in front of my mom's old house in Latonia to the kids. So I pitched this, like, there's a candy bar company here, and I pitched that as it's called the French Chew, and I pitched that as a shoe. But then I was like, I want a shoe for the East Coast, a shoe for the Midwest, a shoe for the West Coast, and then an Unheardof exclusive. So Unheardof would have 4 shoes at that time.
Gotcha.
But that started to maybe go into a sampling process. And then the people that I were working with, because at that time we were doing Nike SB like collab clothing things. So we did, if you look back on our Instagram or YouTube, we did like King Skate Piggy, which is Piggy Runner now. But basically I made the pork chop character be a skater and a golfer at the same time. We did one off the nose artwork of a plane that my grandpa flew on in World War II. So we're doing these like clothing cresting collabs, and then they were like, you got another shoe idea, let's finally sit down, because Bodecker was about to retire, kind of step away from the business, and Unheardof was like on fire, and he has a lot of Unheardof merchandise like in his collection. He had a bunch of our t-shirts, a bunch of our skateboards, and they were like, what other idea you got? So I pitched them, and then it went through a shift in the organization, and a lot of the people that I was working with actually got let go. Wow. So kind of left on pause there. But I pitched Adidas in 2008 for Unheardof. In fact, at Unheardof, we have a shoe on display that's a 1-of-1 that like nobody knows about or really cares about, but it's a pro model. And originally we were going to have 500 shoes for the opening of Unheardof. Then it got down to 250. Then it got down to 100. Then it got down to 50. And I got 1 shoe showed up. But,
wow.
So Phil, we got to respect the dono. G-Face donated $1.99, and he says, Phil, can you make an NL Central Park shoe pack, please?
Shoe pack.
And thank you.
I wish, man. I love baseball. I could really crush it with another baseball story. You know.
You ever been to Yankee Stadium yet, or no?
I've been to the new one.
Okay.
I didn't go to the old one, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. You walk in, like, that's like, I think why I have so much passion. Like, you walk in the Yankee Stadium and you see all those banners, like, over in the outfield, and you see how many championships they won, and then you see the 2 years that they didn't win, and us as the Reds, we won, and like, people are always like, Ronnie this, Supreme that, and it's like, there's some truth to it. Yeah, I mean, like, they're New Yorkers, you know what I mean? Like, they have all those championships just like the Yankees, but lo and behold, old pork chop here comes in, back-to-back years.
Yeah, there's another year they didn't have a championship flag, unfortunately, because the Dodgers took that one.
Shout out Cuzzo. Cuzzo, thank you for the 10 gifted, man.
So the pork chop character came from, you said, the nose of World War II plane? No? Where did the pork chop character come from?
Pork chop's basically me. It was like the first. So when we started skating at 14, Mike Bowman's dad called me pork chop, followed by cheeseburger in a couple months. But yeah, basically Cincinnati's just known for pigs, Porkopolis. We have pork industry here. It's where the Germans migrated to. So there's pigs all over our city, and it's just a name that stuck with me, and kind of, my message when I go to all these schools and talk to all these kids is like, you're going to get bullied, you're going to get picked on, like, that's all right. Just kind of, let that roll off your back and grow with it. And that's why I really like lean into the whole pork chop thing.
I could say that your advertising on your last on the drop with the special boxes, the Adidas drop with the pork chop on the back, the blue and the pink one. The advertising that you did for that and the marketing you did for that was incredible, with the pork chop on the bus and the bus that was wrapped. I mean, absolutely brilliant.
Thanks,
brilliant.
Appreciate it.
So real quick, someone $2 donor from Michael Nassis, he wants to know, same question my wife wants to know. Any retro Adidas superstar collabs in the works?
Do you guys want to see me do a superstar?
My wife loves superstar, so she would love that. I know that, but
so
coming off the corn one.
Yeah, so really quick, like I said, I pitched Adidas really early, and then got in, with some people that I work with now, and in the very early stages, they were like, "Here's your 4 shoes you can pick from." I'm like, "Well, I'm not working on those shoes," and I was like, "What are the chances of doing a campus or a superstar or a gazelle?" And they were like, no one's allowed to do Adidas originals. Only consortium accounts are that Germany picks. So I was like, well, damn, that sucks. They're like, you can't. I was like, well, who can I work with? And they're like, well, Adidas basketball would be probably willing to work with you. And I was like, well, isn't Superstar in a campus a basketball shoe? And they're like, yeah, but it's like, it's political. Like, it's under this umbrella of Adidas originals. So I was like, all right, I want to do the rivalry. So the campus and the rivalry are the 2 shoes that I would buy for like $20, $10 here downtown, like when I was a little bit older and didn't want to skate in skate shoes. I wanted to skate in like non-skate shoes to kind of like stand out and be different than like all my friends that I was skating with, just to be like something, like wearing a colored flat bill or something, like kind of just try to one-up them. So I started buying rivalries, and we could color them, and campuses we could color them with paint markers. So that's why I chose the rivalry. But I asked in the very beginning, like, Gazelle, Superstar.
They're kind of the untouchables.
No, and then now it's happening. I hope no one from Adidas is on this call, but now it's like the BUs are fighting over me. Like, Phil needs to work on this shoe. Phil needs to work on that shoe because this is what we're going to market. So like, they did offer me a Superstar like a year and a half ago, and I was like, nah, I'm just going to continue the journey on the rivalry. And they were like, well, we don't even sell that as a brand. It's an Unheardof model for us. And I was like, that's exactly why I'm doing it, because like, this will be, you don't understand the amount of people that are going to like kick off their Dunks or kick off their Jordans and put a rivalry on for the first time. and then that's a dunk to them. Like we're starting a fan base. We're not like chasing marketing dollars or chasing a marketing strategy, you know? Like I want to really be tapped in with the community and the collectors, and you know, I want people to like wear the shoes, beat them up, skate in them, go to music shows, but also I want, you know, people that have them like in their collections like you guys. Like
Well,
you know?
I think that's kind of what makes you so unique in a lot of ways, at least to the sneaker collectors in the sneaker world, is you're very accessible in the sense that you not only do you have amazing storytelling, and you really, you know, what makes people interested in it, the storytelling, but then not only that, you communicate, you know, with people, you know, through Instagram or through special events that you host, you know, and that's kind of unusual in a lot of ways. People don't really get to go to those type of things or get that type of access. And, you know, just like you being here tonight with us, like it's just few and far between for a lot of the people that are at your level. And I understand why. I'm not mad at them for that, but it's just appreciated to see it. And, you know, it's why big reason I think that makes, you know, all the things that you do special along the way. So,
well, then, like I said, I grew up skating with some of the best skateboarders there are on this planet, and the amount of times they dissed a little kid or would diss, like, you know, the chubby dude at the park, or like, you know, the kid that sucked, or like they would come to our skate shop and bully the kid out of the store. Like I was not with that, man. And you know, like I said, a lot of my stories talk about my upbringing and the broken home I grew up in and all the challenges and struggles I went through. And, you know, and I got like this little like clout and this little bit of fame. And I wasn't going to just turn my back on the kids that like looked at me as their like neighborhood hero. And I took them with me everywhere. You know, I used to have hundreds of kids show up to the skate spot or the skate park, and you'd be like, here, you know, here's my box of shoes that I got from DC. Like, didn't even get a chance to wear the pair, gave them all out, to where it got to a point that like all the like high school quarterbacks and wide receivers would steal my shit because like, you know, wearing Jordans or wearing like whatever Iversons to school wasn't the cool shit no more. It was the skate scene. And, you know, I think it was right place, right time. I think like being bullied for being the skater for so many years, and then like, you know, senior year MTV, like, you know, TRL, like, you know, skating with pros, and then like getting free boxes and like getting free shoes, free clothes. And then like, it was just kind of like right place, right time, but also too, like going and spending all this time with like the reps or the sales managers and be like, yo, I need like a 12 piece, or, you know, like send me 12 shoes. And then it'd be like, I need a 9 to 10. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, don't worry about it. It's, you know.
So do you think that's why, or partly why, like when you do releases and you put things out, you are like so involved with the community now, like giving back to all, like so many of the kids that get pairs after each release? Is that kind of where that stems from in a lot of ways, or?
I mean, like I said, I've always done that. Like when Unheardof first got Yeezys from Adidas, we would be like, you have to come in, buy a shoe off the wall for us to donate to the children's home, for you to buy your Yeezy shoe, and then we would match the amount of pairs that were bought. I mean,
damn.
And people would be like, that's bullshit. Why do I gotta buy a shoe to get a shoe? And I'd be like, homie, your shoe is $150, $200. It's worth $2,000. I ain't stupid. So like, you're gonna buy a shoe off the wall.
You're not new to this.
And then I'm gonna buy one that, you know, and match you, and we're gonna donate it to these kids. I think now that like, with us like, you know, we've always given out shoes. There's always somebody that walks in our store like, you know, I got $20. What do you got? And we're like, you know, here's your options. Or like, you know, I see somebody walking down the street barefoot and, you know, their feet are cooked. And I'll be like, all right, I wore these like 10 times. Here you go.
Damn, right off
we've always did that. But I think because of like the amount of exposure that like social media over the last couple years with our releases has covered, it's like really turned into this big thing. But we've always given back and been a part of all these kids and all these people of less fortunate backgrounds in our community. We've always like hooked them up with shoes. The thing that does suck now is the amount of people now that show up and are like, here's my cause, like help us out, you know, like
right.
Yeah,
Can't help
that's the hard
everybody.
this is the school, like I need 100 shoes, and it's like, damn, who are you? I've never seen you
Yeah.
before.
I know that is the hard thing
Do you
because it's a
ever-
slippery slope on all those.
Do you ever
type
sit
of
there?
things.
Do you ever sit there and pay attention? Like, what is the resale value of my shoe going for, or something like that? Like, look
Oh
at,
yeah, come on.
Yeah.
I check. Yeah, I like it. I've been in this game
I
since
would-
I've been in this game since I was 15. I've been checking the resale price since I was 15.
That's crazy. That's got to be a big part of it. I mean, so how do you come up with, or does Adidas do it? Like, how do you figure out how many pairs you're going to release nowadays? Like, do you just kind of get a amount from them, or do you guys kind of forecast what you think it's going to do, or?
No, there's no forecasting. It's just me. It's just like this is. I mean,
just
every
gut instinct.
Yeah, I mean, well, every pair that we've released, I've bought. So, you know, if we make 3,000 piggy runners, I paid all 3,000 pairs of those piggy runners. And then I paid for all the marketing, you know, and all the box and everything as well, too. I mean, Adidas
so they put that on the shop. That's you to cover. The shop has to cover that when you do the collaboration with them.
Yeah, it's an order. I mean, I don't have a deal. I'm not signed. Adidas, you know, lately has really stepped up with some marketing support now, with some marketing dollars. But you know, there's other partners they're working with that, you know, aren't selling 500 shoes. And, you know, we did 3,000 piggy runners. We did 3,000 grandma's couches, and then Adidas bought 3,000 pairs, put them online, and I didn't get $1 of that. So
crazy. So that just goes to them.
And I'm not talking these grandma's couches. I'm talking
no. Yeah,
and they were in special box. So that's why you see grandma's couches special box like $100, $60. I mean, now they're like a couple $100, but at that time
they flooded it on their end. Oh, that whole box, that whole setup was so phenomenal too. The cases that those came in, like I don't even know how you keep the price as low as you do on them, honestly. Like this collaboration alone right here, the briefcase one. Like, how do you do this shoe for like $160 with everything that comes with? I mean, it was crazy. Or I think it was like 160, 180, something like that.
Because
a Jordan is $240 nowadays. It's crazy.
Yeah, they were $165. I mean,
you saw John all Geiger's the extra accessories and everything.
Yeah, I mean, you saw John Geiger's post. I mean, you know, prices are going up at Nike. My prices are going down. You know, I wanted my. And dude, I was with Adidas. I mean, just like when the dunk hit, dunks were dead. You go all over the timeline when we first posted Erica's poem and Grandma's Couch 1. I mean, the amount of people that were like, rivalries are trash, Unheardof's trash, Adidas is trash. Like, it's because Kanye left, you know, and like, shit happened.
They have to kind of find themselves again, basically, you know, in a lot of ways too. So, okay, so the real question is, do you have a personal favorite? Like, is there one that you like that you personally like the most out of everything you've done so far?
Whatever I'm working on next.
Okay, so whatever's next is your good answer right there.
Good answer.
That's a good answer right there. Do you take a breath after a release? Like you just did this whole release recently. Awesome shoe, came out with the 2 colorways. The green pair, by the way, they were both amazing, but that green pair, I'm kind of a sucker for the green, but that pair was phenomenal. But do you take a break? Do you take a beat, or you just right into the next one, like right after it's done?
I can't say too much, but you can't, you know, like Tom Brady, man, you can't let off the gas. Like, I'm in a spotlight right now, and I know exactly what's happening in my life. I know exactly the recognition. I watch everything. I see everything. I communicate with everybody. You know, I get in trouble all the time for being on my phone too much by my girlfriend because I'm always responding to people. So I'm really aware. I'm really aware of what's happening, and you can't waste this opportunity, man. I'm 25 years in this game.
Something's coming next.
What, Brian?
I have two questions. We were talking about reselling, and I was a little confused. There's 2 questions. This is like a part one and part 2. The blue piggies and the pink piggies. They were both the same amount. They were both $1,500, correct? So, like, one was a friends and family, and one wasn't, or
no? There were 2. What do? We did 1,500 pink piggies and 1,000 blue piggies. One of them was 500 less. I can't remember now.
I think the blue one was 500 less.
The blue was less. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So my question is, and I'm very confused on this. The blue ones are going for less money than the pink ones. I guess just supply and demand on reselling. I mean, we were talking about resale for shoe and whatnot. I personally like the blue ones better. That's just me. But they're both, I mean, obviously the same shoe. And then there was another shoe that was like leaked that it was a combination of both shoes together.
It's a 101, yeah.
The 101 thing. And
Do you
then
have that at home, or you keep that in the
They had it
store?
on display.
Yeah, I had it on display. Like I said, I apologize. I have so many cool samples. We'll do this again.
Yeah,
and
of
like
course.
It's okay.
once I get my home office all set up, and by that
Yeah.
time I'll probably have way cooler shit to show you. So basically the reason why there's the 1 of 1, it was supposed to come out the same time as the bridge shoe. Like exact same time. If you look at the insoles, if you look at the insole artwork, you see the steamboat going under the bridge, and then on
Which
the
is
Piggy
this
Runner,
one, right? The bridge
Yeah.
one? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
because I
So let
donated
me pull the insole for it.
$25,000 to a children's home. I gave away like 250 pairs of shoes. So basically I made no money on that. And then basically he's going under the bridge, and then on the insole of the Piggy Runner, pork chops are running across the bridge.
Okay.
So they were supposed to go hand in hand. So I mocked up 3 colorways because I wanted to see the pink one, the blue one, and I wanted to see if I should just make the 2 as one shoe, basically.
Right, I got it.
But also, too, it was kind of like a flex move with Adidas because they were like, you can only do 2 shoes. And I was like, I'm gonna try and get away with 3. So that's why I mocked up. And when they came in, they're like, oh yeah, we got to make both. They're too fucking good. And and then like a lot of things happen in the world. Like a lot of shit's happened in the world in the last 3 years, with supply chain issues and like shutdowns and tariff wars. So like the Piggy Runners were just delayed. And they were actually supposed to get here like 115 instead of, I think we did the bridge shoe in November. So I was like, all right, I'll just spin it to Valentine's Day. That was never the strategy. It was supposed to literally come out the same time as the bridge shoe. And the original box was like a backpack, like a Mickey Mouse backpack at Disney. We made a pork chop backpack.
Well, no way. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Man.
I'll have to show that sample someday too.
Yeah.
But he just looked terrible. He looked like he like pooped his pants. Like
He's having a tough day.
Yeah.
All right. My part 2 of my question is we noticed that recently in the last, I think, couple of weeks, we noticed that there were extra boxes that you were selling just the box only.
Yeah. So basically, you always over order because, like I said, I make all the boxes myself.
Oh, you did? Okay, I got
So
you.
I buy the boxes, I design the boxes, buy them, order them, and then have them imported to me, and then we flip the boxes. And you always order more in case like things get damaged. And we actually had like 60 boxes in total of both Grandma's couches get completely destroyed in transit.
Oh damn!
So yeah, there were only like 20 of each or something left over that we sold.
Gotcha.
And like a lot of people want just to have extra shit, and I have extra shit too, so it worked out. And I think we still got some Piggy Runner boxes online.
I have a whole room of extra shit.
Yeah. So,
I think everybody on this panel right now has got a room of extra
and
shit,
I don't want to just throw the stuff away.
No, absolutely not.
No.
So we put it up, and then like people buy it, and then I always say like if you want anything funny written on it or like whatever, send a note, and then we always throw like extra stickers or something in the order too. So.
Yeah,
awesome.
I appreciate everything you do for the people too. Like if they wanted a pair to DM you, and you get them back.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You don't get that a lot.
There's a lot of work.
No, it doesn't happen right there.
I mean, for you to be...
are you a collector yourself? Are you collecting?
I mean, I was. Like I said, I'm 40. I've been doing this since I was 15. I sold my entire collection maybe like 18 years ago when I bought my condo. I just had to downsize and I needed the money.
What size?
What size am I?
Yeah.
Dude, I've changed my size 3 times. I was an 8, then I was 8.5, now I'm a 9.
Oh, small foot
Yeah.
kid.
Your foot's getting flatter. That's why.
Yeah. Well, I was when I retired from skating, I started running, so my foot definitely grew. So then I was like 9.5 there for a hot minute, but now I'm a solid 9. But some Adidas shoes run just weird, and I wear 8 or 8.5 in those. Like Piggy Runners, I think I'm at 8.5 in the pink pair.
Right.
And a 9 in the blue pair. I
That's
don't know
weird.
if anybody has noticed that, or maybe it's just me. Dude, I'm a weirdo. I totally just like in another world. And but I've had like 3 or 4 shoe collections in my time, and I've sold them all. I'm down to like maybe 20 shoes right now.
Oh wow.
I wanted to say that it doesn't go unnoticed, and it's very appreciative of all the time that you put in for answering individuals' DMs about, and most of the time I would say that 95% of the DMs that you're getting to, hey, I missed out on the drop and I really like the shoe and I really want the shoe. And I would say, I would hope that 95% of it's genuine.
Yeah.
And you be able to invoice somebody to give them the shoe that they desired, that they missed out on the drop. Like I wasn't able to make it to Cincinnati. Trust me, I wanted to take his pass and go, but
Yeah.
you know, I couldn't make it. I'm in Florida, and you know, I couldn't make it. And we have a person that's consistently in here, Ohio stepdad, that lives in. He lives like 3 hours away. He drove there to come to the event, and
that's you, right?
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, that's me.
Yep, that's Brian.
We gonna get you out here one time.
Let's go, man. I love Ohio. I lived in Cleveland for about a year.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. But
that's too funny.
I gotta say, my experience out in Ohio itself and in the Midwest was incredible. The people there are just so different. The super nice people. The cost of living was great compared to Florida, South Florida. And the nightlife that was there and everything that was, it was just a really good experience for me over a year that I lived there. And unfortunately I came back to Florida because my balls basically shrunk because it was so damn cold on the Lake Erie. It was nuts.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I don't miss that cold weather. That's for sure.
It was so cold. It was so cold.
Oh yeah. Juve said, "Can we see a Skyline Chili Unheardof collab?"
Oh Jesus!
Hey,
never chili.
I love it. You just never know, man.
Cheese.
You never know.
I haven't had Skyline in a minute.
I have a Skyline right down the street from my house.
Oh, so
my
you're
wife
like in
just
Fort
heard me.
Lauderdale?
She goes, "Oh my god!"
I know exactly where you are.
Yeah, the Skyline Chili right down the corner from around the corner from my
Never
house.
had it.
I was gonna say I have no idea what y'all are talking about.
Right?
Yeah, it's in the Midwest there. We had them in Indiana too. There was one right in Anderson, right off the freeway, or up 69 right there. They had a Skyline Chili right there. We'd stop in there, load up. You just get a big chili dog. They'd load that thing with a mound of cheese on top of it. Pretty damn good.
Man, I'm really bummed my chat doesn't work.
You can't type. You gotta connect your YouTube to it. You can go on YouTube. Are you on your computer?
Yeah.
Well, we can open up some questions into the chat too here.
My
whole
staff does
room
all
full.
that.
Your staff does all that.
What up, front page Aaron says what's good.
Look, I have one question.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm somewhat of a creator, if you will. I dabble in customs, but I would like to know, like, how does it feel, or how did you feel seeing your shoe or your design on someone for the first time?
Ooh.
So I've had my t-shirts on people pretty early. Like we did, if you go on Hypebeast, we did a collab in 2008 with Rogue Status. So Rob Deerdeck, Travis Barker, and I did a shirt. I'm sorry, I bet on baseball. Pete Rose. I got sued by Pete Rose, but
really,
that's a good claim to fame, actually.
So hold on,
good one.
Because I'll ramble on with storytelling. But 2008. So someone earlier told me, like, what's it like being in streetwear or streetwear brand? So 2008. That's Crooks and Castles, the Hundreds, Rogue Status. So when we did this collab with Rogue Status, that's when like Rogue took over, right? I mean, gun show tees were selling for like $300. So we did this shirt, 50 tees. First time we had a line on Unheard of, we sold out. I'll go to Vegas, Travis Barker, MTV, Rob Dyrdek. They're like, come on, we're going to the club. I met Kid Cudi, I met Asher Roth, and I just like was living this like fanboy moment for a hot second. And I think I got pictures on my Instagram. I was never really out there like that. I was pretty big on Facebook and MySpace when those things were like popping. But kind of like took myself off everything for a while. So that's why like Instagram's kind of lame for me and I don't have a big following on there. But yeah, seeing the t-shirts was a big deal. It was like all-star game when it was here in 2015 where I saw like 10,000 people wearing Unheard of tees to the MLB all-star game here in Cincinnati, where I was like, holy shit. Like I said, we see Nasty Boys in the wild here a lot. Because pretty much every Reds fan in Cincinnati definitely bought all the shoes off eBay or StockX or whatever GOAT when everybody was like, oh, I can get $100 or $200. Like when they liquidate them, Cincinnati bought every pair.
Damn.
I believe that.
So I do see it a lot. I do get people coming up to me randomly like, oh, you're Phil, or like, are you sure you're Phil? And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Like, no, I'm Nasty Boy Phil.
It's super sick. But the craziest thing is like me and my girlfriend were way upstate New York, and like this dude who couldn't even speak English. I want to say he was from India, and he was wearing grandma's couches, and they were fucking cooked.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I made it. Like, that's so sick. And then like I started getting like DMs of them at Ross for like $30, $50. I was like, oh, I made it. Like, this is sick. Like to get the like, I found him at Ross. Like, damn, I made it. So it's pretty cool, like standing next to somebody or something. And then just like random stuff, like seeing stickers. There's like Unheard of stickers are like a big thing. So to see like Unheard of stickers like on construction workers' helmets here or like Chicago, like because we got a lot of people that come down from Chicago that rock with us, and seeing stickers on poles, like definitely like that. I think I get more excited seeing stickers because like that's something that like I tried so hard to do at 15, 16 years old is put like our clothing brand stickers like all over poles and signs and stuff. So now
that's awesome.
But yeah, no,
that is true. That was always the challenge. Get them up as somewhere crazy that was hard to get to too.
Somewhere super high.
It's super rad seeing shoes on feet. If I saw like guys like yourself in the public, I probably wouldn't come up to you and be like, yo, what's up? I'm Phil. I designed those shoes.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
If like you turn and like looked at me and I looked at you, I'd be like, damn, sick shoes, bruh. Or, like, just to
how many times have you been next to somebody and they're wearing your shoes and they have no idea that you're next to them?
A lot.
And, a lot, I bet.
No, a lot. And that's usually why I'm like, damn, sick shoes, bruh. Or like, but like when I see like an older woman wearing them, like a mom or an aunt or something, that's when I run up like, oh my god, I love your shoes, they're so fire. Because like they're not sneakerheads, right? Like they're not collectors.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not
it's genuine. Yeah, I just love.
They were like, I gotta have these shoes because they're pretty or they're flowery.
Yeah.
So that's where like my inner child comes back out, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I love your shoes! Those are so. Let me take a picture." And then it's like, blah, blah, blah.
Just make their whole
dance mom.
The dance mom.
Oh yeah, dance mom. One of the dance moms. Yeah. She was like, "I need your shoes."
That's great.
So like.
That wasn't did the blue pair, did you release? I feel like those, no one even really knew about those till like the day of on the piggies.
On the release.
So they weren't nowhere, right? Yeah, you called them friends and family earlier. They weren't friends and family. They're what's called a shock drop.
Gotcha.
Okay. That makes
sense. A true shock drop.
Remember the word hyper strike? Hyper strike. Yeah, so like it was just shock drop. Kind of wanted to rattle the cages,
You definitely did.
Got to stay
Mhm.
relevant out here, you know, and yeah. But
I was like, yeah, I'm only dropping $180 this week. Next thing you know, never mind, make it that
No,
like
you're
400.
not.
Exactly. That
Yeah.
doubled up real quick with that extra pair, right?
Also,
Oh my gosh.
I have to send a huge shout out to Ohio
Oh,
Stepdad
stepdad.
because
Yeah.
Oh,
he's local and he hooked a lot of us up that
he
couldn't
helped
get the shoes.
everybody.
who
Oh
was shouting
man.
out?
My buddy Ohio Stepdad, you took a picture with him. Like I gave him my invite to go out there because I couldn't make it. So he went there and he kept going back online. He was getting it for all of us, you know, people in our group.
Everybody.
You know, he just kept hooking us up, you know, getting us our sizes.
And
Fuck yeah.
you know Dade Ass Kicks, right? He came out to your event.
Yeah, from Miami. Yep.
Andre, yeah.
Yep. That's the homie.
He's a good buddy of mine.
Hell yeah.
And
Yeah.
we hang out a lot too down here. We go to a lot of the same events and stuff like that. Like me and him were rocking out at Verdi, and when Verdi came in from Art Basel and stuff like that. So
Sick.
yeah, he was telling me
No,
that he
that's
wanted.
crazy.
He's like, yeah, Phil's my dog. I was like, I had to go for his event. I was like, I didn't even know you were going, dude.
That's
He didn't even
it.
tell me. So yeah.
Well, don't worry, you'll be at the next one.
Yeah,
I would, please.
that would be awesome.
If
Raffy said
there is a next one.
Raffy brought up a good
next
point. Raffy Collect said, glad to see none of them got leaked. It was a really big surprise, which is dope. So that had to have been hard. Raffy's right. To keep that from getting leaked, I feel like nowadays
In
everything
this
gets
day,
out
yeah,
there.
in this day and age.
Well, even the marketing pair didn't get leaked either. So yeah, no, it's tough. I mean, I still have some really good homies at Nike. I mean, I got friends everywhere. I try to like make friends everywhere, right? Like you only get one life, so you got to make the most of
Yeah.
it. And like I got friends everywhere, and I've always, you know, I've asked a couple homies at Nike, I'm like, how do I like really do this? Like Adidas isn't really like the greatest brand in North America. You guys have done an amazing job by telling everybody how trash they are. I was like, when's the right time to like leak something? Because I leaked Erica's poem at Paris Fashion Week.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, the best is always 2 weeks. I'm like, fuck, there's no way I can hold it for 2 weeks.
Right. Yeah, that is tough, I would think.
But we
Jeez.
did, and
Especially
it worked.
nowadays.
Yeah, we
So,
did.
yeah,
I'd say so.
So
we know stuff that's coming out next year.
Yeah.
I know.
Already.
But some of that shit's intentional too. Like I
Of
think
course.
because like I mean, I'm sure it's a matter of time before we start getting leaked early. I mean, I'll be honest, there was a dude who like tried to threaten us with there were Adidas photos of grandma's couch, pink and green ones. And they were basically like dangling it like, hey, we have them, like, and you know, they coded the site and got the article number and found the images that like the factory and Adidas took to show with me.
Wow.
On the B2B
Damn.
platform for our order process. So they screen grabbed it and then kind of held it as ransom. But you know, thank God.
It just sucks too.
Well, I played the like, look, dude, like I'm the little fish in this big pond. You know, there's only 8 guys or 8 accounts that get collabs. I was like, don't ruin something that's so genuine and so, you know, organic. Like, don't be that guy. You're the only one with it, you know. And so yeah, they held off on it. So I was super appreciative of it.
So I have a question. So say like a store, like you see like Kith, they're able to, they do like what Ronnie Fieg does things with like Adidas, I think, and New Balance, like different brands. Are you able to still, if you wanted to do a Nike, are you able to do something like that? Or
yeah, I'm not signed. I have no contract. I'm under an NDA on something. Hopefully holiday this year. Fingers are crossed. But yeah, I have no contracts with anybody. You know, yeah, I'd love to get back with Nike. Do I see that happening? I don't think so. I'll say this: I'm really happy with the family that I've built at Adidas. I've built a real organic family. New Balance Numeric had some open conversations with me about some stuff, but you know, I there's photos of me in high school wearing a Muska tee and a pair of Addy Stars, and like I really want to continue my storytelling as Phil Lipschutz with Adidas. But I'm definitely open to some other things. I mean, we've done collaborations with like Dalek and JC Rivera, who's a really famous graffiti artist out of Chicago, on toys. We've done skateboard collabs with like Don Pendleton, who's the original second Alien Workshop graphic designer, did Pearl Jam's album cover. So we're gonna do some more things. We were talking to a non-basketball, non-skate brand, but an action sport brand that is like 150 years old. Fuck it, it was Wilson, but
okay.
Wilson.
It didn't turn out, but
Yeah.
things. No, I can't give you the color scheme.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
right. Everybody's like, this Christmas, this year, this Christmas. Everybody's like,
it's called Moon Rock. No, I'm just kidding.
Moon Rock. Damn,
but
that's crazy.
yeah, no, I mean the journey I've been on with Adidas has been fun. I will confirm there's no more rivalries. The rivalry chapters are all over.
Okay.
I hope to God I never work on another rivalry again.
What up, Ad Sneaks is in the building.
I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to see you on an SB again. That's just me being,
Yeah,
I'd love to see you on an SB again. Yeah, that's just me being greedy. That's a good way to put it. But I'm happy for the Adidas and the support. But yeah, we miss you over at the SB line over here for sure. So I just know, a friend of the channel here, he goes by Moondust Studios. And if you're not familiar with him, I highly recommend checking his page out and following him. He's the most creative person I know personally. And he's known in the industry for making like custom boxes for sneaker releases. And, he does pair up with Nike like he did, like when SB came out with the costumes recently, they did this little dice set that they gave out at the like the little promo pieces, the little SB dice like this that came in the little miniature SB boxes.
Oh yeah.
So he does projects like that with them, but he does just really amazing boxes that go along with each of the different SB releases. And man, you and him collaboration on something, I can't even imagine. The sky would be the limit for the two of you guys, especially with the creative that you guys both have. I can't even imagine. So I'm just gonna put that out there in the ethosphere there.
Shout out to So Much Soul. He said Muska just started his own footwear brand. It would be awesome if there's a collab with Unheardof, especially since you were a fan of the Muska.
Hey, set that up. I've been trying to reach out to Muska for a minute. He moved to Ohio and he reached out to a bunch of people like, yo, like I need help, I need this, I need that. I'm like, yo, I'm right here, bro.
Right there.
And I actually skated with Muska a couple of times, but this is when he was like on his last run with Supra. But yeah, I was in the mix with him and Terry Kennedy. I don't know if I got a photo.
Flipper Drip's in the house.
Yeah, what up, Mike? What up, Rafi?
What up, Flipper Drip?
So
actually, I kept it handy because I got to show Flipper Drip a little love tonight. So
just so you know, Phil, that I've actually in the past 6 to 7 months, I've been in the process of starting up my own like T-shirt streetwear, and I've been working with certain people to help me brand my own streetwear line. And I could say that there was definitely inspiration from your end as well on my behalf. So
hell yeah. Are you doing screen printing or are you doing DTG?
No, I'm doing screen print, and there's going to be definitely different depending on the application, but most of it's going to be screen print.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so it's going to be real good quality. Like I'm not slacking on the quality. And he mentioned Moondust. Me and Moondust are working on a couple of things together currently right now, and I'm looking to drop my first 2 shirts here in probably the next month and a half.
That's sick.
Months. Yeah,
you should
thank you, Sneaker J.
You should go work part-time in a silkscreen shop, learn how to clean the screens, burn the screens, make the screens, make the shirts in layers, so you really master the idea of it. That's what I did.
Right. No, yeah, so a lot of the things that you were saying hit home on definitely ideas that I wanted to possibly entertain, even though I'm 45 years old and starting this kind of late. I don't think it's ever too late, especially I got so much wrapping around in my brain that I have to write down on a piece of paper or else I'll forget it, because I got so many ideas that I want to do. And, you know, you saying that you learn every step of the way, you know, I might actually take a trip out to California, because the person that I'm working with is out in California, just to hang out with them for about 3 weeks to a month.
Hey,
you know?
and usually that's how you get the item like $1 cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, no, I just wanted to say thank you. You know, it was nice to hear about everything that you did in the past, and you know, everything that you've done so far in the future. It's been really
Thanks,
inspirational. So
Appreciate it.
Let's go. One of the guys in the chat want to know, what's your current skate skills? He says, I know as an aging 40-something, I can't do things I used to. I'm 0 for 10.
What's my what?
What's
Your
your current skating skills now?
I'm retired. I'm done.
if I try to do an ollie right now, I'd break my back.
I got like a, I don't have a cast, but I got a sock on called the Strasbourg sock right now. Does anybody know what that is?
No.
No.
So I got tendons all torn in my foot and my heel.
Damn.
And I got
That's
this
no good.
sock on.
Sounds painful.
I got this
damn.
sock on right here.
Damn. So it just stretches everything, huh?
Yeah, because I don't want to go get surgery. So
God, it sucks getting old, doesn't it? Sucks
that
getting
was
older.
that was my push foot. So if you see me in person, people are always like, "Why are you limping? Why are like what's wrong?" And it's just like I tried to keep up with all these guys that I skated with.
Well, let's be honest, it just got faster too. Like watching some of the old skate videos and things from back in the day, just like this, it was just everything's so much faster. These guys are insane nowadays. They're so quick.
Yeah, they're animals these days.
And
I
what's your
I don't know how they stay so like dexterous, you know, like, and not get injured as much as the people that have been doing it for 25 years, 30 years that are still doing it. It's crazy, you know. I just don't understand. Like, you would think that you would be in a position that you're in, because you know they're so like dexterous, and they could break a leg and come back 3 weeks later. It's crazy. I mean, I'm being a little, but
there it is. I was looking everywhere for this photo, but there's me and Musco right there and TK.
Oh wow!
Oh damn, old school right there too. Look at you youngins right there. Jiminy.
That was when I started Unheardof, and then this is the day I told P-Rod that my second t-shirt company I started was called Primitive, and he gave me a ride home from the trade show. This is when he started his sneaker store, Primitive. I was I was the wear tester for P-Rod 1 and P-Rod 2.
Nice. What an honor.
So basically, like I said, I wasn't sponsored, but they would send me a bunch of like free shoes, and then they would send me shoes before they came out to like write about or get feedback on. And one of the dudes was the head designer was James Arizumi. That's who designed all the P-Rod shoes. And you had asked earlier, you know, what's the status with Nike SB, and like it would be great to see you back in the mix. But Arizumi, to this day, Arizumi's always like DMing me and like congratulating me like on all the stuff that I've accomplished with Adidas and stuff like that.
Very cool.
That's amazing.
They're paying attention and they're watching, and you know, they're super supportive with me. There's an old photo of Sandy Bodecker wearing an Unheardof shirt right before he passed.
Damn. What a memory right there.
Yeah, so
legend.
No, those are the homies, but like all the guys that like I worked with, there's like one left that's still at Nike SB. So it's just, you know, they got their own direction right now and they got their own path. I mean, shout out to Nike SB. Look at all the amazing things they've done in the last few years with female skateboarders and, you know, all the shops that they've helped and brought up. I think I can't say nothing bad. I mean,
no, amazing. No, definitely.
I'm just, you know, I'm an SB kid, definitely a dunk kid. And, it definitely helped me go the way I went. A lot of people are like, oh, his shoes are just Dunks. Well, like, yeah, no shit. Of course they are like Dunks because I skated and I was the one that fought for Nike SB to sell shoes to non-skateboarders, you know, like I just supported dunk culture in the very beginning and Nike SB culture, you know, all the above. So of course all my shoes are kind of like look like a dunk because that was who I was. But also too, like we try to make all the running shoes skatable as well. Just like when Huff had shoes with DVS, they were all skatable as well too. So you know, Deer Deck and Huff made all their shoes off of Air Maxes. So
right.
That's true too.
If you had to say, other than the 2 shoes that you came out with, the 2 Nike SBs, what is your favorite Nike SB?
The Dunkel, easy.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh, the Dunkles. Okay.
So that
was
so that's a cool story. That was the year before, or was it the year? Anyways, it was the year before I had this meltdown about not going pro. Nike SB had a yacht party at ASR on a boat, and they were giving out Dunkles to the first like 100 people, and I got a pair. And then the infamous, there's a really famous, you might not know, his name's Ryan G, but he's the first guy to go on eBay, list the Dunkles that night, and they sold for $1,000.
Wow.
So I got the Dunkles, I got them free. I still have them. I still have the little, like, they mailed me an invitation in the mail, which was like a movie ticket. There's a DVD that comes with a mat that's like a pack of matches, but it's a DVD. It's the first Nike SB video, even though like it doesn't say it's the first Nike SB video. Ray gun wristbands came with it. Bunch of like really cool on tap stickers and stuff. So yeah, to me that's my favorite. I've never met
damn good favorite.
Yeah, I've never met Futuro, but really respect his work. But yeah, I love that shoe.
I got to meet him at Art Basel. He was pretty cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's funny too, because doesn't he have like what's the tie-in with the Dunkles? He will make like little comments about his like involvement in that particular shoe too. Like
the rep,
I forget what
the rep changed the color. Originally it was supposed to be green and black,
was.
And the guy
so he
changed
kind of like
pink. So he's pissed about him.
Yeah, so he's kind of pissed about it. That's what it was. I was gonna say I remember there being some type of little, something that went along with
Wait, what was the original color? What was your original color supposed to be?
Green,
the
black.
Pink was supposed to be like olive green, army green.
Oh wow, okay.
Damn, Mork and Mindy's were his favorite, and
for me,
Juniors.
Then Guns N' Roses.
That's amazing.
Yeah, one of the guys, my first kick said, "Bring back that re-release that cardigan that you were wearing in that picture."
Oh no, it was a hoodie that was just unzipped. I wasn't wearing a cardigan.
That's crazy. Run it up, hit the like button, you guys. We've been going now for about an hour and 50, and you guys have been riding strong so far. Lots of good stuff in the comments here as well.
How many people are watching?
Right now you got 100.
Oh wow, damn.
Yeah. Hey, broke the 100 mark, man. I don't break the 100 mark too often.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, we're usually around 60.
Yeah.
Around 60, 70 people sometimes.
Yeah, so one of the guys want to know, what's your dog's name?
Otto.
Otto.
What is it? What kind of dog?
What kind of dog V?
Otto.
You know?
Give me a treat, babe.
Is he gonna show the door?
Yeah, he's bringing the dog V. My wife loves
Sorry,
dogs.
guys, it's dog time.
Otto, come here. Look.
Dog time.
What is this?
You got Ariamo there too.
Yeah, he's sitting back here.
I could go grab my dog. He's kind of sleeping.
That's all right.
Come here. They want to say hi. Come here. Over here.
What kind of dog is it?
He's just like a black mutt, terrier, border collie, lab. Come here.
31 flavors.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Right here. Come on. Come here. Come here. He's like scared of. We got concrete floors, and he's like scared of the floor.
Oh.
Come here. Come here.
Oh,
say hi.
He looks like your dog. He looks like Roxy.
Roxy's cousin or something.
Yeah.
Oh, he does too.
What is that?
Crazy.
Here you go.
How old?
Oh my god, guys, gotta smash the like just for the dog.
Sorry, I can't pick him up. I got my leg rested.
Nah, that's all right. Yeah, don't.
That's all
Like I said,
right.
my heels
Yeah,
up.
it looks like Rami's dog, honestly.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they look like they
awesome,
could be
dude.
sisters right there.
Oh,
That's
that's
my little
awesome.
my little 11-year-old.
Or
Yeah,
sister brother, I should say.
He's just a
Smash
little
the
bit.
like for the dog.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's our bud. He's my buddy for sure.
Right.
How old is he?
He's 11.
Yeah,
Oh,
same as
see?
Roxy.
Roxy's boyfriend.
Yeah.
I got a 5-year-old dog. I'm going to show you real quick.
Where are you guys at, Rami? You're in Florida?
New Jersey.
He's in Jersey. I'm in Florida. Influence is in Cali, and so
No,
is
I'm in Texas.
Otto, you got a side piece in Jersey.
Otto, you got a side piece in Jersey.
That's my dog.
There you go. You got Dobie.
That's Dobie.
Hey,
Yeah.
dogs are family. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Dogs are family.
My dog has a 6-pack. See.
Oh man.
I got a keg.
That's nuts.
Oh, see, look, they have the links for the
Shannon said, I just want to say thank you for being you and always interacting with us. OH.
Always, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you've
Shannon.
been getting so much love in the chat over this time. I know you haven't really been able to see it, or you can, I think, a little bit, but just can't chat in it. But yeah, the chat's been just showing all kinds of love the whole way through.
You guys gotta join the Discord and post the pictures of your pets.
Yeah, we have
so
a pets
we can see all the
tab in the
dogs.
Discord.
I think that's probably one of the most
Discord.
popular channels in the Discord is
the pets.
the dog channel, honestly. Yeah, the pet channel. You know, there's raffle links, general chat, kicks of the day, but the dog channel seems to lead the way for sure. So everybody loves showing love to the dogs.
I love hearing that. You guys are going to be excited one day. That's all I'm going to say. I love hearing that. You're going to be excited one day. I got to switch it up. Carl Edwards, what's up, man? The homie's always chatting with me on Instagram. So
yeah.
Joe Burrow has not been to the store. Joe Burrow's foundation has called me personally and asked me to design them a shoe for Aloe. And then I asked, well, what's your budget? And then they laughed and said, no, like, what is your budget? I was like, I'm not paying to design a shoe for Joe Burrow for their foundation. Like, what?
Wait a second. Yeah, like, hold on.
Yeah, a good 90% of people that DM you probably come from this channel because I always tell them like, yeah, he's good. You know, like if you DM him, maybe he'll help you out. You know, if possible, if they have it available. You know, like he's for the people.
Influence his dog.
Oh, here you go. Here's
he's a bully.
He's the cutest right there too.
He's so handsome.
Yeah, he's so good. Which is a reason this is probably, and the Nasty Boys is up there, I'm not going to lie, but this is probably one of my favorite all time. When it comes to my SBs, the dog walker by far is probably one of my favorites right here. I just love everything about this shoe. This is definitely top of my list.
Especially the poop on the bottom.
One of my
exactly.
One of my best buddies made that shoe.
Well, he killed it because all the way down to the photos on the insole of all like the staff's dogs and everything like that. I mean, just the whole thing just was phenomenal. I bought that shoe. I paid resale for it. My dog passed last year, February, and around that same time, I went out and made it a point to get that shoe, and it was kind of marked that time in my life, and I just, my wife and I, we don't have kids. Our dogs are our kids, and so that shoe is definitely a special one for us for sure. So the dogs were dog mom and dad for sure. So,
dogs are special, but like I said, one of my best buddies made that shoe. He did the Statue of Liberties too, but he's the last guy at Nike SB that's one of the originals that I've worked with. But
nice.
Enough with the dog talk.
Yeah, right.
I can't slip up and say.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
I know.
I see some people in the chat saying some shit. 80.
Yeah, right.
Andy, chill out with those eyeballs.
When can we expect the next big thing? Can you give us the holiday time frame?
Holiday.
He said, "Pay attention to holidays."
I don't know. It's gonna be a minute though for sure. Things are definitely delayed right now.
Okay.
It's crazy world out there. Things have happening in other countries that I can't control, and I'm not you know, a lot of people think that I'm done working with Adidas because it was the last rivalry. That's not true. I still, you know,
I feel like you're just getting started.
Yeah, we're just getting started.
You know, I feel like you're just getting started, honestly. Like, I can't even imagine where you're going to be in 5 years from now. I mean, I'm sure you have, but like, I can't even imagine where it's going to go in 5 years because it seems to be on a rocket ship right now.
Did you ever plan on making another Unheardof, like a branch off, like another store, or like you stick to the one main store?
Are
we'll
we asking all the right questions that you can answer?
Yeah, you're sure. I mean, I've actually, like, you know, a couple years ago, it's maybe been 10 years ago, Nike asked me to open a women's only store in Chicago, and I said no. Unheardof has supported women's shoes and clothes since the beginning we've opened. And we definitely did not want to go to somebody else's city and try to be somebody we're not. I think it's just kind of whack. I've always wanted to do another store in Florida because my dad lives in North Miami. But obviously I don't want to go like chase what Concepts and Kith and Supreme are all doing.
Concepts is closed down here now.
Oh, really? That quick?
Yeah.
So I kind of just want to be who I am and stay where I am. I've got some other ideas and some other unique opportunities that might be coming my way pretty soon. But the goal is definitely me and Mary doing a women's store, and we're working on a lot of exciting things. We'll see if that comes to life really soon. But yeah, no, I'm not opening in Chicago. I'm sorry.
My brother would be excited. By the way, honored to have 80 Sneaks in the chat tonight, fellas. I'm sure everybody knows who that is, but yeah, no, honor to have him through here. The teacher, we just call him, right? The teacher.
Yeah, the teacher.
The guy put some of the best photos out there right now for everything coming. So
yeah, 80's my guy. Aaron's my guy.
Yeah, you guys had a good time.
That was cool. You guys got together recently. What
see
brought
my
that
boy
all
Haas
together?
is in here. Mr. Jones, I see you, Cincinnati. 80's cool. He's the man. Yeah, he's had me down. He's held me down since day one. I think he's extremely talented. Before I even really realized what, like, you know, I don't like to say the word content creator, influencer, or any of that. I was just like, whoa, this dude's photography is like next fucking level.
Yeah.
And it's cool. And it's unique. And then just organically, I was like, yo, your shit's dope. And then it hit me back like, yo, your shit's dope too. And I was like, oh, damn, sick, thanks. And then like just randomly one day, I like hit my girl on the, you know, we were sitting on the couch. I'm like, this motherfucker has 300,000 followers. Like, he said my shit's cool. Like, what? So it, you know, yeah, he's been a homie since the first release, and you know, we stay in contact, and definitely respect him. And then you know, I've met a lot of his really good friends, like Aaron, who's on in there, and you know, I respect all people. There's a girl, Key, out of New York, that I really talk to a lot. And I think it's really cool that like my sneakers have been able to help me communicate more to people, rather if they're in photography or if they have mental health issues, you know what I mean? Or if they're wanting to make t-shirts for the first time, or, you know, the thing I like that sucks is a lot of kids don't come to me anymore like, hey, can you help me with my ollie or my kickflip? But yeah, I just like the fact that like I'm able to communicate with people and be genuine and really have a connection with people. Because that's the way I got to where I am today. Like I said, I got no college degree, I got no business program or platform or whatever. I got to where I am by just communicating, you know, fake it till you make it. And just kind of like kept growing and kept meeting the right people, but put myself into that meeting with the right people, you know? So
yeah, you did. Yeah. The next who's going to be the next 15-year-old walking through the door at Unheardof, you know, that's just like you know, just trying to make his way and figure it out, basically, you know?
Yeah, so they better grab a broom.
Seriously, yeah, and that's the problem. You know, I'm not going to go there, but that's the problem nowadays. Everybody wants it. They just want to go right to the top. That nobody wants to put the work in, you know. So everybody wants it right now, you know, and doesn't want to put that work in. Grab the broom and, you know, figure it out, basically. So
Look, I'm not 15, but I'm definitely inspired after this conversation. So definitely thank you for sharing your story, man.
Hell yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's been
it's been
awesome.
dope.
hard work's
Yeah.
always gonna outwin luck anytime. You know, I was listening to Phil Knight's book on the audiobooks because I can't read, I'm dyslexic, and he was talking about how he got lucky and he had hard work. And I'm like, that's bullshit. You outworked everybody. You got to be who
Yeah.
you were because you busted your ass and you worked harder than everybody. Don't like sit there and say like, oh, I just got lucky. Like, no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
People go out and make their own luck, right? Like, and that's the truth to it. You got to go out and make these t-shirts and sell them, you know what I mean? And like, it's all right if you don't sell out, fake the sellout, you know what I mean?
You're your own best advocate.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can also be your own worst critic too. You got to be honest with yourself because like
Yeah.
when people give you criticism, it can really affect you emotionally and mentally, but if you are constantly criticizing yourself, then you're kind of prepared when someone says like, "Oh, your shirt sucks." It's like, "Ah, you're right, but I sold out." But fake the sellout, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sell
Yeah.
5 and give the other 10 away, you know? And that's the fake it till you make it strategy.
Yep.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome. I appreciate it.
Do you know Brandon Vasquez? Big fan of him too.
Brandon is one of my best friends. Yeah,
Okay.
he's we were working on a cleat for Brandon when he was here at FC, and then he went to Mexico, and now he's down at Austin. But yeah, BV is one of my best buds.
Nice. Very cool.
Do you keep one of every shoe that you've made?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
I've got a couple of every one I made because there was like a long time there. I didn't have a pair of Nasty Boys for myself because I at that time was an 8, and it became a 9, and I didn't have no 9, so now I keep a few pairs of everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I keep just about everything.
Very cool.
It's a problem, but it is what it is.
The double up.
It's a
good
problem to have. I see the double up problem. It's a good problem to have. It's like I'm always guilty of wanting that double up on things, and I can only imagine if I was the one creating it. I think I'd have to have more than double. I think I'd have to have a small skid of extras back there if I was in your shoes. But I get it. That's crazy. Influence is a little customizer himself, and he broke the internet about, I don't know, and I'm going to say he probably doesn't like that I say he broke the internet, but he did. He was the first person to customize the Wizard of Oz, take the million hours to put every little damn Swarovski crystal on that shoe, and then film that thing on a board just gliding down the road, and that thing just blew up the internet. I saw that on every post everywhere. And,
can I see a pic? I didn't see it. Sorry, I was under a rock that day.
He went to go get him. He went to go get him.
Yeah.
I did this.
Shit, those are sick.
I did this before Nike SB released the
exactly
Friends and Family Special Edition, whatever.
Yeah.
So
you put the blue laces.
Yeah, I did the blue laces. I took these from which ones were these from? The white and blue pair.
Wait.
Were they from the Dior's? No, those were flat laces.
No, not the Aprils.
Not the Aprils. Female skate shoe.
Nicole House.
Nicole House. There you go.
But so I did this.
So this was what you obviously know. This is what it originally looked like, and this comes off.
Yeah.
So he peeled all this off and put on all the rhinestones on it.
Yeah, no, it's sick. I love it. Those are beautiful.
Yeah, they should have done that from the beginning, but
they
still did a good job. But I'm glad to see that he took it. Rami said it one day. He never did it though. Influence did it, and he ran with it happen, and it broke. It broke. I don't know who said it first. I don't know. I'm just gonna say it now. I don't know. I just know, but no, I'm just teasing. These guys are always giving each other a hard time.
He did the Dare SBs also with the glow in the dark paint.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot he did that little hidden touch on those. those theirs. That's right. That was sick too.
So he did this shoe. This is the their SBs. Obviously, you know what it is, but all the white. This is all like what is it called? Embroidered.
Yeah.
Stitched, and he did all the stitching glow in the dark. So he's gonna go grab it real quick. So this is what it looks like regularly, and then he
nice.
See, I don't know if.
Oh, sorry, that was for my wife, not you, Coach. You're my bad. she just told me she got a scholarship for one of her classes. So
it might be too bright, but
yeah, it's still too
bright. Turn your screen off.
I don't know if I can turn my screen off.
No, you can see it. You can see it.
You can see it on the front when you
did
it.
Yeah. Especially if you hold it back a little bit, it's a little easier because you're a little further from the light.
Yeah.
But he made all the.
Those are sick.
Just that little extra touch.
It'd be a good Halloween shoe.
Yeah, for sure.
The creative. He's got that creative genes in him there for sure.
What do they say, Mr. How it should have came?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I know. Well, good. So we I'm just excited. Man, you got me all like, man, I wonder what's coming now. I just got this little secret, going here, something holiday. I'm trying to put things together right now.
Stop trying to pry stuff out of him.
I honestly, the first idea that you said, the first date idea with the ice cream, I think that's a stupid dope idea. I hope that comes back around somehow and it makes it on the shoe.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, telling an ice cream story is kind of hard to do right now with Chunky Dunk and everything.
Those are a thing of the past.
Yeah,
you can outdo that.
Yeah,
you can outdo that.
Yeah, no, that's.
But you never know. You never know. I mean, like I said, I sat on Grandma's couch since 2016.
Well,
yeah.
And the one guy, So Much Soul, said he feels like Nike took the idea of that Grandma's couch with the Hawaii, with that Maui SB, kind of gives like the vibe he said of that Grandma's couch.
No, that was.
You talking about the Paisleys? The Paisleys?
No, the
Maui highs.
That was the dude. Todd out of Minneapolis did that shoe.
Yeah, Todd Brett. Yeah.
It's crazy. There's such a little mecca there in Ohio of all these people that I didn't even realize. Like some of these people, until you were telling the stories earlier, like that all kind of centered around your area there too. That's crazy.
Of what, skate culture?
Yeah, no, not just the skate culture, but just some of the people at the time there. I mean, I forgot that Deer Dick was from Ohio there till you mentioned that, so it makes sense that he would have been around there too. Where was the Bam and them out of?
Pennsylvania. I never skated.
Okay.
Yeah, I've never
met. Skate with them.
Never.
No. Yeah.
No, I never met Bam. Never skated with him.
Yeah.
I did skate with Kerry Getz twice, and he skated with Bam. He's from Philly. He owns a shop called Nocturnal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nocturnal.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
Being in Southern California, a lot of these guys all seem to make their way out to Long Beach out here. Everybody wants to try to get into Long Beach and kind of find their way, basically. It seems like nowadays, even though what's his name, Yuto's here now, I think.
Yeah, I mean, California skate paradise. Haas, Scribble Jam shoe. I'm working on it. I'm trying to at least do like something for the documentary release. They're hoping to get it on Netflix.
Oh, nice.
That'd be sick.
Mint chocolate chip SB sample.
No, it wouldn't have been mine.
No.
It's not your version, is it?
I might. Let me hold on. Like I have that booklet. I might have the first date booklet. 2 seconds.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh yeah, Dave Chappelle's there in Ohio too. That's another person back in Ohio. All kinds of people back in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, you have a good night, man.
He's got his own little comedy spot there, I think. Actually, have a good night, Carl.
Yeah, close it. Yeah, appreciate everybody for coming through, man. Thank you, Phil, for taking the time too, and make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe.
That freaking like button.
Don't just come here for one time. We always have a good time. We hang out, and it's just a good old time here. Just a bunch of old dudes talking.
Right? I know it's true.
Old dude, no beard anymore.
Old dude, no beard.
Right?
Isn't that funny? We're considered old dudes.
Old dudes, right? We're old dudes now, so
I don't feel old until I move. No, I'm old.
We're club 40.
Seawook, you're older than me, right? Influence is the oldest, right?
No, Seawook's younger. No, you're the oldest.
I think I'm the youngest.
Yeah, I can't find it.
Thank you,
next time.
Go
next
drop
time.
Phil a follow too. Straight to Toe just dropped his IG in the chat, so make sure you go follow Phil if you're not already.
And V said, please make it a superstar. She's begging you. My wife loves it. And like I said, you had a big reaction with the superstars. A lot of people said, yes, please.
Didn't Clot just come out with the superstar?
A lot of people are. I know they're trying to bring back they're this year they're doing a big superstar. I feel like a big run on them. They're trying to push them a lot this year.
I want everybody to tell me. I want two things. I want everybody to tell me what Adidas shoe they would like to see me work on. What's the dunk? Is it the superstar in your eyes?
Campus
superstar.
I was just gonna say I would think it'd be one of those two in my eyes at least.
Campus or superstar,
yeah.
Let's see what the chat says.
So the chat, tell me, would you guys like to see me do a superstar or a campus?
Let's see what the chat says.
He says superstar.
Let's take a vote. Put a poll up.
Are Ultra Boost or
the
Ultra Boost out of the question?
Collaboration shoe.
Easy 700. That's sick. Yeah, I'm sure I'll get that whenever.
Yeah, right.
Ultra Boost would be good, not necessarily skate, but just.
What about that new? What about that new 3D shoe that they just dropped?
The Climacool. I got my pair today. They're sick. I love them.
Yeah.
They're really hard to get on at first.
All right, the poll's up.
I put a poll up for you guys.
Yeah.
They have a lace version coming out. I probably got in trouble. Yeah, I probably just got in trouble for that. But there's one that's coming out that's like three laces.
Kind of like that Climacool they did. Was it?
Yeah, it's a Climacool, but it's three eyelets, not three laces, but three eyelets.
Okay, because I remember they made that one before this Climacool. They made another type of shoe like that, kind of like that material, like it had like a sock inside it too, and I think it had laces on it as well. I remember Adidas did.
Work on Patrick Mahomes.
Infamous Jones says an Addy Star, that'd be interesting. Addy Star.
Look at this poll.
AE1.
Oh, these ones, these Addy Stars.
Oh.
That's the Control 5.
Yeah. An Addy Star would, you know what? That's a good recommendation. I do think an Addy Star would be a pretty dope one, actually.
Yeah, it would be.
And then this is a colorway that hasn't been shown yet, but there's a photo of me that was taken in the Adidas headquarters in New York City, and
I like the green.
Complex. These aren't my shoes, by the way. Complex posted it, like me wearing the shoe. So the Piggy Runner was 2005, and then these were 2008, which is the year Unheardof opened.
He said Phil can make the Ultra Boost cool again.
You know, I said that in a meeting once, and I actually got them to take it out of the line.
Really?
Yeah. So if you notice, like, there's no like new Ultra Boost coming out, and the only reason this shoe's in the line is because when I did this shoe, they were like, no one likes this shoe. It's bombed. Accounts think it's whack. We showed this to Concepts and Kith, and like Ronnie didn't like the shoe. I was like, yo, that's the best shoe. Let me do that shoe. Let's put it back in the line. Because I was like, if they think it's whack and I make it hot,
superstar.
Now I have one of those championship banners, you know?
Exactly. I like the way you're thinking. He's like, I'm not going to take the one that everybody wants. I'm going to take the one that's a little bit more, make it everybody want it, basically.
Haas said Crazy 8 would go hard.
This is the closest poll, man. Holy crap.
I can't see the poll. That's
it says so right now. Yeah, Adidas Superstar 29%, Campus 34%, Ultra Boost 37%.
And you guys are talking Campus 80s, not Campus 2000s, right? Like no fat tongue.
No, I think you got to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to skate in the Campus 80s a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think the Campus is the right shoe. That's just my personal preference. The Campus would be the right shoe.
He's like, you're letting me down, everybody.
I know. He's like, happy the poll's not leading towards the superstars here. Like, come on, people.
Yeah, it's really close. Campus, Ultra Boost are pretty much tied.
I'm gonna throw my name in for the Addy Stars there too, though. Actually, but once he pulled us out, it's kind of like he would be doing something special on that one for sure.
I need to add my collection.
That Campus right there, right?
Absolutely.
Yep.
100%.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
That's literally the shoe. I was like, that's what I want to do, and they're like, you can't do it. It's originals, off limits.
Damn.
Well,
They don't know what's good for them sometimes.
I would rock the ever living piss out of that.
They just don't know what's good for them. That's crazy too. Yeah, we need something coming.
So it's pretty much tied. 36, 36, 27.
That's so sick.
Right?
Just do all three.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not a bad idea. I like the way
I
you're
know,
thinking.
right? Yeah, he's like, why pick one? Just do them all. Come on,
do them all.
We got time. We got
I definitely
time.
like the way you're thinking.
Drip King
Yeah,
says,
right.
put some hairy suede on it.
Do one
So
of these.
you have to get approval from the people in Germany?
Yeah, of course.
Is that what you said?
Originally, not anymore.
Not anymore. They tell you what silhouette you could use. Pretty
Now?
much.
Awesome.
Now, yeah.
Now they're like throwing things at me, and I'm just like, no, I'm not interested. But
What a good position to be in.
What about unheard of Nora shoes?
Nora's sick. I don't know. I probably won't do an actual skate shoe because if you notice, all the shoes I'm doing are shoes that are skateable.
Exactly.
And as far as like, as a skateboarder, the shoes that I'm making are better than what's in the skate line, in my opinion. Like, Always just came out with an all patent leather pro model. Like, you can't skate that. And like, all my shoes are premium pig suede and nubuck, which is like what all the best DC and Lakai shoes were when they came out.
I feel like New Balance is kind of making a run in the skate shops right now too, with their model that they've been releasing here, especially the last few right now.
That new
the
model.
New model.
993
990 or something like that. Yeah, there you go. So, but I know when I see a lot of because I spend a lot of time like on the weekends just hanging at the shop, my local shop, which is Furnace or Pond. Shout out both of them. And just seeing the kids come in and out and what they're buying, and that definitely is one that they're picking up a lot right now for sure. So.
Yeah, Reynolds shoes doing really good. The 1010 does pretty good. The 480 does good. They got some good stuff.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm glad to see the kind of a mix on the shelf right now too. So, and it's weird because we're at that point where now SBs are sitting on the shelves too. Now you can walk in there and they're back, on the shelves. Many shoes back too. It's not like it's even the most recent release.
So Campus won with 37%, Ultra Boost 31%, and Superstar 30%. So it was close.
Oh wow, it's tied.
It's pretty much
close.
Yeah, it might as well be. That's for sure.
I see you like Michael Jackson.
See, we got some pawn shop love in here.
I do like MJ.
Who doesn't love MJ?
MJ's my guy.
A Piggy and a Bad Bunny crossover with Slap.
Piggy and Bad Bunny crossover.
Man,
Piggy and Bad Bunny. That's interesting.
SL72 is not a good answer.
SL72.
72 RS.
What about those ballerina shoes?
Yeah, Loco, this will be up.
Well, you got to understand, like, Adidas is killing it right now for females, right?
For sure.
Oh, big time.
Sambas.
Yeah, so, well, I mean, like you just said, the ballerina shoe.
The ballerina,
like,
my wife wants those.
Like, I mean, and, there's a lot of Spanish culture, too, so, I mean, I don't personally have the ballerina shoe. My girlfriend wears them, like, nonstop.
The cow print ones?
She's got them all.
Yeah, my wife wants the cow print ones.
We've got all the shoes from Adidas right now, but I do rock this Gazelle indoor a lot. Bad Bunny, the black and white one. So I'm trying to get to a point where like I have 10 shoes I wear and they just beat, and then
cycle through them,
give them away, and then get another 10. I mean, I've like I said, I've got like 20 shoes that I just can't part with. Like Dunkles and some Marges and some Puss heads. But I see your all's like SB collection. Like I had all of those plus all the original ones. The only ones I didn't have are like Floms, Paris, London River.
Yeah.
Those are like impossible to get.
Obscure, like impossible pairs.
Yeah, 8 or 10 pairs that like I never had, but I had everything else.
It's crazy. I definitely so the funny thing is a lot of the people in this group right here are size 13s. Myself, one of them. So for us reaching back for the old ones, which we do often, is extremely difficult because for that time period, it just seems like size 13 is just so limited. It's just so hard to come across size 13s from that time period.
Yeah, I just reached back for these the other day, and then
send help too.
So let's see. Pull up a picture of a handball special. Let's see here.
Me?
That's what they're telling me to pull it up. Let me see. Handball special.
Those are okay, but those are more of like an indoor soccer shoe.
Well, it's a handball shoe for the game of handball, but
right, but it's
that's a good look. I mean, that's not. It wasn't one I was really like familiar with, but I mean, it's definitely got the vibe kind of that I can see being a good crossover as well to do, and kind of falls in that dunk, lane.
I had 2 pairs of Pusshead 1s and 1 pair of Pusshead 2. But these are the handballs my friends did at West NYC. Shout out to Shout out to Adir. So basically they're like inspired by like a vintage Chanel jacket.
Okay.
Yeah.
That handball's a dope shoe. It's a really cool shoe.
I know one of those stories in New York City recently did a Superstar also with the apple on it. I'm trying to remember.
But didn't the specials come from from an indoor soccer shoe initially? Wasn't it an indoor soccer shoe at one time?
It's from the game handball.
Handball.
No, I understand, but
it's got the same type of sole as a Samba.
Like the.
Okay. I'm not too versed. I'm not too versed with Adidas.
Guys, I ain't the Adidas encyclopedia here now.
Sure. He's got all the knowledge. Come on now. Shout out to Unheardof for some of the best sneaker releases in the game and always making fire collabs going. Ghost says.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, Ghost. What up, Kaya?
What were you gonna ask?
What are your guys' favorite SBs and why?
Oh, that's tough.
That is, man.
Oh, hold on.
I said one already for sure. And the dog walkers are pretty high on my list, but I'm not gonna lie, the Nasty Boys, and not just because you're on here, these guys will be the first to tell you, like, I was on the hunt for them for a minute, and I wanted to find a pair. I wanted to find a VNDS pair because I wanted to wear them because I wear my stuff, and I finally last summer was able to track these down right here and find a good VNDS pair of the Nasty Boys. So that's one of my prized possessions for sure for my SB collection. But if I just had to go off of some, like, another kind of top one for me, just because I think it's so unique,
just one of my favorite,
so different.
Street Hawker.
I love Street Hawkers.
And Civilist. Look, you guys are new bread.
I was just gonna grab the Civilist, man.
You guys are new boys.
Still your favorite. No, we can go back. Hold on.
These are.
All right, but I would have to say that this is probably
Premier. My buddy Eric and Josh designed the Premier shoes.
Yeah, I love these ones.
The Erie Dunk's good. The Erie Dunk kind of got cease and desist too.
Yep.
My favorite shoe is a little off the cuff.
My wife brought her pair.
The Jordan, the Stussy. I wore the Stussy to my sister Erica's funeral. Atmos Don't Close Fire, and then Costin's Jordan 1 is great. The mini Jordan logo.
That just kills it.
I was just talking to one of my friends at Nike that designs the Hawaii's sick too. I had the Hawaii track jacket. I sold that thing for like $500.
Oh shit! Really?
The suede on this is unbelievable. Like the best I've ever
in my opinion, Nigel should have put a mini Jordan logo instead of a mini swoosh on the Jordan 4. Because mini swooshes are kind of like off limits for the longest time. And then now like they're just everywhere. They're on like inline Air Force Ones that no one cares about.
So Go says, "Yo, Phil, I know you won't remember, but you blessed me with an invoice for the pink pigs that a friend of mine wanted. We spoke on Twitter and wanted to let you know she loves the shoes so much."
Oh, I do remember you. You're welcome. Nah, sorry. I'm glad you got a pair, and thank you for your support. It means a lot.
There you go, Cheech and Chongs.
Cheech and Chongs.
Those are good ones. I literally just picked these up dead stock. Like
another one that Todd did.
Yeah, no. I missed the Todd SBs, man. They need to bring those back too. They need to,
I know.
I wish they,
Yeah,
a
SP
little
doesn't
bit
really do
newer,
anything.
but these two, I love what they did with these.
So they got away from that, right? No more like they're not trying to do like 420 anymore, or they're not trying.
Yeah, nothing controversial, man.
Nothing controversial.
I
That's
kinda
why.
miss it.
Is that why? That's why like they pushed the rodeos back supposedly, right? They didn't want it to be with the BHM. They were trying to not associate with that. I heard that's why they pushed it out.
I don't know. No comment. It was probably Olivier. What the P-Rod?
That's a good one. I don't have those. That's a good one. That's a good pair.
Still on the hunt for the Nasty Boys.
Topic says Nasty Boy packs, Jedi, CKs, Homers, Avenger pack. I always forget about the Avenger. The Freddies, come on, those are crazy. The Trick Stars.
Yeah.
How about those?
Crazy.
Some Papa Bears. Yeah, it's so many hard to pick, man.
Yeah. I know it is,
and a lot of the pairs I really want is just way too out of my price range. You know that I don't want to spend.
13.
Yeah. Like those Nasty Boys.
Yeah, exactly, right? Unless you can find that trade.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta show him these. These bring back man.
I actually have. Yeah, I can't say it, but
he's got. I would say, and I can't say which one it is, but I will say Rami has probably which I think will consider to be one of his favorite pairs once it lands, though.
Yes.
There's no doubt about it.
Ben and Jerry because I like ice cream.
Damn, I got the Friends and Family Para shoes still, and I guess I already boxed it up.
Box them up.
Like I said,
put them all. Yeah.
What about these?
Cleaning up for storage.
The Papa Bears
highs. Yeah, those are good. James Arizumi did those.
Guinness SB.
Do you ever go to any of the sneaker events, like just to walk through and just kind of like any like Sneaker Con or like any of those type of events? Do you ever go to any of those?
I have. I'm gonna do more moving forward.
Okay.
But yeah, I have in the past, and then obviously COVID hit.
Yeah.
And, not that I'm like a germaphobe or anything, but like when COVID hit, I had to work harder than I've ever worked in my life. So going to sneaker trade shows and stuff like that just weren't in the cards at that time.
Sure.
But
I got to give a shout out to the best GR that was created this year. Orange label.
Yeah, it's a good orange label. What did you guys think of the yellow one that they posted?
The yellow one's
the Saturns are nice. Yeah. Is that what they're called? The Saturns? What do they call those? Saturns? Yeah, those are nice too.
Solar yellow or whatever it's called. Yeah.
Yeah, those look good too, right there. I dig those for sure.
They're not coming out in America.
No,
we got them over. We got a pair for somebody over.
You know why they didn't come out?
No.
Why?
Because one rep said we're not putting out a shoe that looks like pee.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what's funny though, because Moondust took the shoe because he'll do some like Photoshop stuff, and you know how they did the chocolate SB one that they did that was real limited that they auctioned off or whatever. He kind of it's almost that similar color tone to that thing, and people paying like $10 grand for that shoe.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
You know, so but yeah, you just lay the brown in the middle, and it's almost the same shoe too. That's what's crazy about that particular one. But yeah, so those are a few of probably my favorites out of the collection. A little bit of old, a little bit of new. And
these were super dope idea with the wear away material.
Oh, she did. They did such a great job
on
that pair. I love that pair so much.
Yeah, so I took a Dremel to it.
That one is so underrated as well too. That one did not get a lot of love, and that whole concept was just sick.
I love my boy's comment. I miss flipping toilet paper during the pandemic.
Toilet paper.
now I'm forced to flip Sneaker, Pokemon, and Labubu's.
There were so many people that couldn't wipe their ass because of that ass.
Right? Because
he's buying up the truckload there.
But I love it. I love it.
Funny.
I had a bunch of my friends get into selling masks from like how they were saying like the 3M mask or something like that. The mask that was like rated to keep out when the pandemic hit. Everybody was selling masks around here.
Yeah, you got to see some true colors during that time for people. That's for sure. That definitely. If they were hidden before, they weren't hidden then. That's for sure. The N95s.
N95 mask. Yeah.
Don't hate the player, hate the Charmin. I like it. No, I don't. I'm not mad at anybody making a buck.
The best was anybody was trying to take it back, and Costco was like, nope.
Stocked up, but I don't know. But yeah.
So do you like the pink pair or the blue pair? Like
Piggy Runners?
Your shoe.
Yeah, Piggy
Runner.
Runner.
Your kids.
I love them both. I think they're
Yeah.
both incredibly awesome. And I love the 101 sample.
I love the 101 sample. I wish that dropped so bad.
That's how I want to wear them. I want to wear them 101.
All right, hold on. We got a question here. What's that say? As a
question
store owner, go ahead, read it.
Says, question for Phil. As a store owner works with brands, what is your opinion of the shoe market as a whole right now across the brands? Do you agree there's a decline in sales, tariffs, impacts?
Tariffs are definitely impacting, but sales have been impacted by consumers over the last 4 years. Here's the thing. Tariffs, your shoes are going up a couple bucks. It's not that crazy. Your Air Force Ones have gone up 30%, in the last couple of years, and you haven't really like ruffled anybody, like you got upset about it. The thing with the sneaker market is
oversaturation, maybe
100%. I'll give you all the answers. Greed. Nike came in, they had a CEO who sued StockX, who started eBay. Why? Because that's company crushed his company, and his shares, his net worth went down the toilet. And so Nike doesn't own a piece of the game. Look at Rolex. They just came out recently where they get a piece of the game by certified pre-owning stuff. And now they're getting a piece of the secondary market. Nike gets no secondary market. So what did they do? They flooded the market intentionally on purpose. Now they're stuck trying to get back, and they'll come out with something hot, and then they'll put it out and it'll sell, and then Foot Locker will call and go, we want 1 million pairs, and that's where things get oversaturated. No way an Air Max 1, a Dunk, like there should be coveted product that is protected, that is for sneaker culture, not Foot Locker, not Dick's, not JD Sports. We're talking sneaker culture. And then when they did this whole like Louis Vuitton thing, they stole from you guys the sneaker culture and then didn't give you access to it. So like I fight these wars all the time. I've met CEOs and GMs and the powers that be at Nike, at Adidas, you name it. I've met them, and I tell them the same time, like, Nike made the kid cool. They talk about Gen Z, Gen Alpha all the time, and how are they going to win with that? And I'm like, you need to win millennials right now, because we're telling these kids what's cool. There's a reason why Stranger Things is coming out with 3 series and they're 3 movies and they're 3 hours a piece, because they're making what we want to see. We want to see Star Wars rated R. Like, we want to see heads and blood, right? So like, if you don't make the shoes that we want to buy, the kids aren't going to buy them, because kids got into this whole fucking thing because they were making $100, $200, and then, they started flipping. And there's nothing cooler than going to school with some badass shoes on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a good feeling.
So,
it's a good feeling.
The fact that like Uggs are reselling is why Nike, shows that they got untapped, and they told the kid that was buying and collecting shoes, they're corny, they're whack, because Nike didn't have a piece of the secondary market. But Nike's still 30, 40, 50 billion times bigger than Adidas, right? And then who's in third place? Who cares? Like, On Cloud got 8% of the market share. That's nothing. Nike can get that back with a Kobe release. But unfortunately, I hate to say it on this, but Kobe passing's probably what saved a lot of Nike business. That's who they're gonna milk right now, and
they're doing it.
They just got to get back. But there's also a lot of people at Nike that only care about Nike. They don't care about us retailers. They don't care about us sneaker collectors or sneaker enthusiasts or whatever. They have a tattoo of a swoosh on their arm. That's all they care about, and climbing the ladder. And like, they'll see somebody come out with a great product, they'll steal it and go give it to Foot Locker immediately, just so they get a pat on the back. And then they're gone in 9 years because they can't hit their 10-year. So it's just a shame that greed, is not only legal, but it's also what's causing the collapse of the marketplace. But
not in all things, the greed is, I mean, that goes across the board, basically, and not only with shoes, but yes, heavily in the shoe market, I would say. But
it's funny. Yeah, you're so right, Coach. So right.
Yeah, I mean, people are on here like, damn, spitting facts, but I've been doing this since I was 15, and like the formula of like making the right product at the right time and, you know, making it special always wins. When someone goes and steals it and makes a bazillion things of it, it's just played out, and too many things are getting played out. Your dog is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. He's a good boy. He's a very loud boy, but he's good.
It seems like they're reaching back for everything this year too. It just seems like they're literally. I mean, you could get into the sneaker game this year, and you'd pretty much have a little piece of everything because they're giving you everything this year, practically.
I mean,
and
guys,
that's good and bad.
There was a Wu-Tang dunk. I mean,
yeah. That should have never come out. I know, that's my point. Like, and they killed it because it didn't have the same type of appreciation that it did when it came out. And some people are happy about that because they got a shoe that they never would have had the opportunity. But some things just aren't meant to get, you know? That's just what it is.
Like, how do you feel like the what's it called, undefeated, you know, come back out with they're bringing out the fours again, you know?
It's whack. Like, I don't, like, I'm sorry to break everybody's heart. I do not want to do another Nasty Boy. Like, things.
No, I agree.
Things need to be what they are. You know what I mean? I can tell you another Red story. I can tell you another baseball story just like that.
With a different shoe, or not even a different shoe, but a different story in a sense.
But for me to come out with it, for me to just do a 101 retro of the Nasty Boy, like, that's so corny, and I'll never, if I ever get to that corny, please, someone like put me out of my misery.
We're gonna let you know. Yeah, exactly.
But have you noticed that they don't remake SBs?
Well, yeah,
they don't.
But the way that
they seem
to be flirting the line right now,
well, yes,
like, it kind of makes you wonder, right? But I agree with you. It's like, yeah, thank God they don't. That's one reason I feel comfortable reaching back and buying a 20-year-old shoe, because I don't feel like they're going to retro it in 2 years and then it's going to be worth nothing, you know? And it's like, why go out and spend $1,000 to get the shoe if that's what it takes, just knowing that, you know, it's going to come out in a couple years, and then it's like, well, shit, that sucks.
Do you feel a shoe must have a great story? No, it can just have a dope color. I mean, one of the sickest shoes of all time is the Barf Dunk Lows. You know, it was like the ugliest thing they ever made, but that's the story. You know what I mean? Is the shoe being ugly, but in the colors. But I do think that too many times brands or shops or anything try to just force a story now, and I think you're gonna see a lot of shops forcing a lot of fake stories. One last question. Will you pick a shoe brand? Wait, read that to me.
When you work with a shoe brands, can you pick which model you want to work on, or do they tell you what model they're pushing and you create the design for that model?
Originally I pitched a couple ideas and a couple silhouettes I wanted to work with like Nike and with Adidas, and they said no. Now they're kind of like, hey, we're gonna go to market with this shoe. So the Uruku came out. I was asked, will you work on this shoe? I said no. The Harmony just came out. They were like, will you work on this shoe? I said no. So I kind of had the unique opportunity to stay who I am and work on what I want to work with. I deliberately wanted to start the journey with the rivalry because I was rivaling the Adidas, and I was rivaling the skateboard culture and brands. I was rivaling Nike SB, and I was 1000% rivaling Jordan brands. So, but I was rivaling myself too, because I was like, if I can't get these shoes next to those dunks that are behind you in those containers,
well,
like
they're there.
What you know what I mean? Like, what am I doing then? Like, if I'm gonna do an Ultra Boost or a Harmony or a Ruku or a Handball or whatever the next like shoe that is their marketing shoe, that's an opportunity of you doing a shoe and then like that's it. You know what I mean?
That's done.
Because if you guys don't fuck with it and don't talk about it, don't do stuff like this, and don't have this like emotional attachment to it, then like me as a collaborator or designer or storyteller or whatever it is you want to call me, Al Bundy, it'll never happen. You know what I mean? So I wanted to do a genuine, growth with the shoe, and then with the brand, and then with Unheardof and me and myself. So now I'm hopefully getting to a point where I can go to Adidas and be like, here's what I want to bring out of the archive. Because truthfully, for Nike Sportswear, for the last 10 years, I go to a meeting like twice a year, and they're like, hey, what are the 5 shoes you could work on. And this is how the Piggy Runner came about. I got an email like, if you could do any shoe, what would it be? I picked the Skylon. You can Google that shoe, Air Skylon by Nike. And if you could do it, what would it be? What would be the story? And it was the Piggy Runner and the Bridge story all in one. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want this shoe to come out of the archive. So I constantly go to meetings with merchandisers. And they're like, what should we put in the range? I pitched, so at Jordan Brand, our first store manager is Eric Sandy, who did the Lost and Found Jordan 1. I meet with him every now and then, and I pitch him constant ideas for skate shoes. I pitched Jordan 3 low. I pitched Jordan 5 low because those are shoes that like I tried to skate in originally. And like, you know, there's a lot of like ideas that are thrown back and forth. The other thing too, there's a lot of people that work at Adidas whose significant other works at Nike. So that's how ideas get stolen.
Interesting.
And things look the same is because like I try to make everything hush hush quietly, like the old days at SB, and then I get 600 people involved and they all want to like do all these forecasts and chat it, and that's how your stories get shared and another brand picks up the story.
Yeah.
So was there an idea?
That makes sense.
Was there an idea you originally had then you changed up to something different?
No, just mostly materials or something. But no, the stories are always kind of the same. These are my stories, you know what I mean? So like this is my life.
It's not going to change.
And that can't change. But there's, you know, there's just been like small things like colors or materials or whatever. Like Grandma's Couch 1, the purple and the brown were supposed to be pig suede, and like premium tumbled leather showed up. So like you kind of had to roll with the punches on that one.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So
go ahead, Rami. Go ahead.
Another question. I'm curious, having a store that has several brands, does that give you a better understanding of what you want to talk about next with your stories?
It's a great question. Truthfully, I think what gives me the best advantage to talk about other stories and stuff is like I can tell this is like dunk culture right here. Even though you guys, are my opinion, are like second wave of dunk culture, you know, and I don't mean that no disrespect.
No.
I'm super, you know, appreciative of all dunk culture and all dunk waves, but I think me being in the first generation of dunk culture, not Jordan culture, not sneaker culture, because I wasn't a sneakerhead when I was, you know, 5 years old and like, you know, when Jordan first came out, but I was definitely the kid that never got those shoes. And then got them when I was, you know, 16, and then became this big thing. And like, I think being a part of that culture and always being in the culture is what gives me the advantage. Because I'm not a store that is now trying to buy into skate culture. Like you would see, like, you know, I'm not going to throw shade, but let's just say like Atmos, like if they go and do a skate shoe, like they're not a skate branded shop,
right?
You know, they're a Japanese shop. Like they have their own culture. So like I can't really go tap into Japanese culture. You know what I mean? It's like it's not organic to me. So I think my advantage is just being the culture that I have growing up, like, you know, like Korn, Michael Jackson, you know, NSYNC, Blink-182, like Rob Dyrdek, Bam, whatever you want to say. 50 Cent, you know, like Snoop Dogg, like whatever it is, like Air Max 98, you know, Dunk
95.
SB. Well, Dunk SB, like Vans Half Cab, or like Muska S and Muska Circa, like that's my culture, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like heavy skate, heavy hip hop, heavy like pop punk. Just a kid in high school trying to figure it out what's happening, you know what I mean? And I think that's why like my stories, my culture, my branding and everything has really worked out. I did pitch he said I needed an Unheardof half cab collab. I did pitch a Vans collab a long time ago. Man, I am so unprepared for all this.
That's
okay.
No,
you're doing great. You're doing great.
Just appreciate you hanging out.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
But I think
it'd be
I
cool to
have
see you do a collab with a music artist of someone, like especially someone from that time period. Like I don't know who that
Fred
person would be or
Durst,
who
Tom
you'd want to
DeLonge.
do it, you know.
Fred-
But yeah,
I met Fred Durst in Ohio. That was unbelievable. Super cool dude.
Never met Freddie D, but
I used to work at a club called Metropolis. I was the front security guard there back when I wasn't fat and I was like buffness.
You still aren't. What are you talking about, bro?
I used to work the door there, and they were at the Nautica Center. He was touring with there was a hip hop like Ice-T, Ice Cube, and like all the old school hip hop people that were, and he was with them doing a tour with them, and they were stopped at the Metropolis, which is right around the corner from Nautica Center, and he came up, and I couldn't believe how short he was in person. I couldn't. So it was interesting. We started shooting the shit and shit because he was friends with the manager of the club and stuff. So,
AD, appreciate you coming through, man. He says,
have a good one,
man, homie.
Andy, see you, man. Tell the kids I said what's up.
Have a good night. Yeah, it's up there, huh?
G-Face said Bad Bunny times Phil equals
Bad Bunny
equals bad piggies.
It would never work because I can't speak Spanish, and like I said, I'm dyslexic, so I think we would just sit in a room with each other like.
I want to see him on the next Eminem shoe, the next Eminem collab shoe that they do. Well, unfortunately, those never hit the streets or something like that.
So Sneakerhead said, I love that you care about your fans of your brand. Do you think companies care about stopping bots on their websites on special products?
No.
They don't give a shit. Yeah.
They don't give a fuck. They got to pay so many bills. And honestly, I lose money refunding all the bot orders. I lose 3% every time. So
yeah, because you don't get that credit card fee back, huh?
Yep.
Oh, wow. I never knew that.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Yeah, that's one way. So do you ever see yourself making like your own shoe, or do you like more the idea of having the canvas to paint, basically, in a sense?
It's a great question. No, when I started out, I started out just drawing shoes, and I pitched DC Skateboards a shoe one time that I designed my whole self. Think of like a blazer, a half or a skate high, and a shoe called the DC Match, all kind of mixed in together. Quietly, I've been working on trying to develop my own house slipper, like for like 5 years now, and I can't get it right. So
really,
the hotel slippers that we made for like $40, I was like, all right, I paid so much money to make the mold that I was like, I have to put something out. I can't just like get. I mean, it was like $15,000 to make the mold.
Have this mold and do nothing with it.
Yeah, and like John Geiger talks about it all the time, like how hard it is to be independent and make your own thing. And like, I've been trying this for year after year after year, and I, instead of going on Sway in the morning and asking how, I was like, I'll just fucking make a shitty hotel slipper. So we made them for like $40. They sold pretty good, and then we just got rid of the rest. We got rid of the rest of them for $20. But no, I mean, I would love to do my own shoe. I have mentors like Fat Nick from Anonymous Skate Shop and Scribble Jam, and then another mentor of mine, Aaron Hoover. He designed the original like Huff shoe, Jason Dill shoe. He started Lakai Footwear with Mike Curl and Rick Howard. So he's a mentor of mine, and we've been playing around with this for years, but I just can't get it right.
Yeah, that'd be nice to have something kind of outside of just the generic stuff that we tend to get. I like the idea of that, doing something like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, I would think it'd be pretty awesome to have your own like silhouette, go down in history. I would think that would be a fun thing to be a part of. And I know it's easier said than done though, because I feel like getting a shoe off the ground, like a unique style and a new style, has got to be just god awful difficult to do. So hard, I imagine.
It's not that it's so hard. It's just so expensive, and it's so much trial and error until you really like get locked in with a factory. And every time we've gotten locked in with the factory, boom, like something happens in the world, and like you just lose, you lose the factory. So then you start all over again. And like I was developing a super dope, I swear to God, a sick ass house shoe that I was trying to make skateable. Was definitely given Sorel boots and Uggs a run for their money. And this is before, I mean, Ugg like popped off the last like 2 years.
Yeah.
And like
Oh,
this dude was working with them, and like we were all in, and this is who I made all these molds with. And then like, it just didn't happen. And we were making the shoes in Puerto Rico, and it just didn't happen. And now I kind of see that he probably shopped some of my ideas around, because I see some of the shoes with the way the toe caps are and stuff. But like, you go to these trade shows, you meet manufacturers, and they're like, here's what we made Kith, here's what we made Stussy, here's what we made Supreme, here's what we made Huff. Like, you see all that stuff. I can get the same factory that like Nike makes out of Oregon, but like you got to be writing like 3,000 minimum pieces, and like we're making 50 pieces on our t-shirts. So then we started making stuff in Cincinnati. So I had a full cut and sew factory. I hired all these girls before it was even cool to hire girls or be politically correct for hiring girls, that went to DAP at UC. They were helping me do development and do design. And then like it just, I had over $100,000 in trying to do the hoodie, the bowling shirt, and the pant. And it's like, we made some product, but basically all the product I made, I lost money on. So people would be like, yo, your bowling shirt is $150, but I'm like, yeah, that's like what it costs to get the buttons from Italy and like the materials from Japan. And then I made, a girl who just graduated college, I pay her $65 an hour. And it's like, it just never panned out. And you're right, Uggs were made for surfers in Australia. They're originally for men. And they are very comfy, and I'm an Ugg boy.
Me too. My wife.
I live in a pair. I
got an inside pair and an outside pair. Yes. If I didn't have this like stretch sock on, I'd be in my Uggs right now.
My wife goes in on me all the time for wearing Uggs. Like, you have all these sneakers, but you're always wearing your Uggs. Like
middle of the summer, rocking Uggs through the house. There's no doubt about it.
I also want to go back. Homeboy popped up a question and said, I think his daughter or sister or somebody graduated school with dyslexia. She got to be the president award for her grades. That's super sick. I'm a huge advocate in my community for dyslexia. Like I said, like you guys said earlier, I do a lot with like inner city schools. I go and talk to them, and I be real with them. I don't go like in a suit and tie. I go in a quarantine and like shoot the shit with these kids, because these kids go through a lot of stuff in school. And when they hear that like I never went to college and stuff, and that I even spell my own name wrong at times, they're super stoked to know that like somebody like them, even though we don't look like each other, but they feel like, we're kind of like in the same universe. We really connect, so it's super rad. So shout out to your niece.
Yeah, Skongo said, Phil, what are your top 3 tips that you would give somebody who is trying to get their brand store going?
Go work at a silkscreen shop, learn Adobe Illustrator, and learn Photoshop. You just need the basic skills. People are gonna say AI, this, that, but like you can learn the basic skills off YouTube. It's not that hard. You can do live tracing. You can figure it out. But in my opinion, people have come to me my whole life like, how do I start a shoe store? And I'm like, okay, I'll just give you the answers of the 25 years and millions of dollars I lost to go do it yourself. But go work at a shoe store first. Like, pick up this broom. Like, have you ever taken trash out before? So that's why I was telling you.
You spend a lot of time at the shop?
I'm there every day. If I'm in town, I'm there. If I'm in town, I'm there every day. And if I'm out of town, I'm on the computer. 80 sneak saw. I brought my laptop to the classroom. I opened the lap. I'm like, all right, the shop. I'm communicating to my guys at the store. I'm answering emails. It don't stop. It's almost 11 o'clock here at night, and technically this is still on the clock. It's part of the game.
Yeah, late. Yeah, it's part of the game. You're technically
it's part of the game, and I'm always working.
Tufik said, I'm dyslexic. I didn't finish high school or go to college because it's really difficult, and I used to be embarrassed about it. That's why I read comic books.
Hell yeah. Well, I can't read comic books, but I look at the pictures. We do a lot of comic book art secretly through some of our graphics. But yeah, I mean, I never was really embarrassed about it. It just is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
By the way, she was so stoked that you were coming through the channel tonight. I ran into her tonight at Pawn Shop a couple hours before, and I was like, "Hey, Phil's coming through the channel tonight." Like, no way! And she messaged you right from the shop right there. She's like, "I gotta be there." She's been here the whole stream supporting and in the chat. So thanks
What's
for
her
being
name?
here tonight. Yeah.
Sophia.
Sophia's her name?
Sophia,
Yeah, Sophie.
yep, she's
Yeah.
from I
Sophie.
don't know what her IG I have to look at her IG. I always bad about mixing up. I think it's the same
Yeah.
on IG, right? Or YouTube IG.
Yeah, she got a crazy collection, and she's
Awesome.
She's an old school collector. She's been doing it for a long time, and she talk about a little bit of everything from comics to just random collectibles to shoes. Like,
I love
she's got
it.
it all for sure.
Well, thank you. It really makes me really happy to hear stuff like that. And it means a lot to me. So thanks for riding with me. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, what up, Tops? That's crazy. What a fun night, man. What a good time. I mean, I feel like I learned so much tonight, like not only just about you and the brand, but just some of the things that that I've always been curious about. Like Kosher presented the question earlier about the Nasty Boys. I know I was just as excited as he was, because I couldn't wait to get into that and hear that, and just a good time. I'm looking forward to you getting settled in, and I'm looking forward to Rami having you back on the stream to show some of those little samples and things like that. That sounds like a nice little
that'd be
part
super
two.
dope.
Hell yeah, we'll
Nice
get to
two.
500 viewers at that time.
Yeah, right.
I guarantee, especially if we put a little bit of pre-cap. And I do want to do a little shameless plug here, because Moondust is representing Friday night. His deck comes out. It'll be releasing a pretty limited run of these right here. If you already have the series right here, then this would be a great one to add to the collection. And after the stream, Phil, I'm going to just send you his page, and I just want you to check, or I was going to send you his IG page just to check out, because I'm dead serious. You guys doing something together would be amazing,
Moondust Studios right here?
Yeah, right there it is. Yes, sir.
All right, cool. I'm going to follow him right now.
Awesome. Yeah,
he's got some super cool shit.
Yeah, he does awesome stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
Friend of the channel.
Definitely a friend. He's doing a box for an upcoming SB release.
Yeah,
actually, a friends and family release.
He used to be an artist for Element.
Yeah, he used to be the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he used to be head of graphic design for Element.
Oh, damn, that's sick. My boy Scott Emmerich was the rep there forever.
I bet he know him. He knows all those guys back there.
His board was legit. That was a good graphic. Scooby-Doo with the boxes.
He kills it. He's got some other ones on the wall right here. Like, I don't know if you can kind of see them. Like,
show them how they match up.
Right there. Well, they're mounted on the wall. The other ones.
Hold on, let me see. I'll show you real quick.
On mountain.
No.
They're like screwed on there. They're like screwed up there, right there. But
hey,
they all.
We need to let this dude Deadly Venom ask a question, because I've seen his name pop up a ton, and he said, "Get back here and teach us about old school dunk." That's funny. Old dunk cultures sucked, man. They're a bunch of assholes, and it's funny too, because they weren't even supposed to get the shoes. It meant for skateboarders. So it's
how that goes.
He's a buddy of mine. He lives in Tampa. We hang out a lot, me and him.
Yeah, skate park at Tampa. Those are old heads that would be dicks to you. They were like, you can't come in here, And I know all those dudes. I skated with all of them. One of the original Nike SB rep, Nick Highkiss is from there.
They're still dicks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Old dunk culture is whack. That's why I vibed. I loved all the dunk collectors.
Yeah, Moondust did graphic design for Ella for 20 years also.
Damn, that's sick.
So here's his other skate decks. I got him.
Just the two, right?
These are the two. So it's a continuous series he does. They all connect together. So,
is he on this? Is he on this stream?
I don't know if he's in here tonight. Actually, I don't think he's here tonight. That I know.
So you see,
he's working on something for Nike right now.
So the cans connect right here. And
That's
then
sick.
on the new one, it has the smoke rings connect to that one. He's just gonna keep doing keep doing
endless thing.
And it's all SB related. You got the
the Newcastle and the Heinekens. Yep, he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah,
super smart. I love it. Homeboy was like, we need a piggy deck. There was supposed to be a piggy deck, and I got to check off the email and get it finalized. So if I drop a piggy deck like now, even though after the release, you could think they would still sell.
Yeah,
Yes.
people do seem to like anything that kind of ties in, you know, like in the culture. It seems like a big part of it is collecting, you know, as everything ties in.
Because this is sponsored by an original Chad Muska Shorties board, the Lucky Charms board.
Yeah, I bet if you did like a run of 100 or something for sure, like especially just because they keep it like super limited, you know.
Mm-hmm.
See, yeah, I blew
decks
it.
are getting expensive too, though. The decks they're getting expensive, man. Speaking of, they keep going up. It feels like so. It's like seems like your average deck's like $80 now.
$80-$90, yeah.
You know.
Like
now they got decks going like 120 in there. They're making these things with like this volcanic whatever in the middle of it. I don't even know what the
my first deck was a mini Vision Psycho Stick.
That's an old one.
Yeah, that's when I started skating.
Is there a project or a collab you passed on that you regret?
That I passed on?
Did you ever pass anything?
Passed on a collab? I don't think there's one I passed on. I mean, I definitely regret not sending the payment for the piggy boards and getting that finalized. I definitely kind of low-key regret a little bit not doing a superstar.
Yeah.
Just because that's like a coveted shoe for Adidas.
But coming soon.
Coming soon. You never know.
Campus. I'm here for the campus boys.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything I've passed on. I mean, there's been people that have hit me up locally like, yo, I want to do like a collab or a graphic with you or with Unheardof. I'm like, cool, let's do it. Present the artwork. And then like they're like, oh, aren't you going to do it? And I'm like,
no.
No.
That's
not how that works.
Yeah, any chance to restock on a grandma's couch collar tees? Extra large got cooked.
Oh, the polos? No more of those. Sorry.
Sorry, straight.
Carl said he's trying to keep his card on file at Unheardof. He said just keep the credit card on file and just charge.
Hey, Carl Edwards, he's the homie, man. He DMs me every day. I love it.
Great.
My DMs are always open, and if it takes forever for me to get back, it's because there's a lot of messages in there. But
I can't even imagine what your DM looks like.
I definitely reply back to everybody.
That's crazy.
Clutch.
Well, damn, I can't believe it's already 11 o'clock. That seems like it flew. It flew.
Yeah. I'm actually going to call it. Yeah. Phil, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
I learned a lot tonight, and I definitely look forward to coming to your shop. I really want to see it firsthand, and
oh yeah,
you know, it's definitely in my cards for the future. So
hell yeah.
And if you're ever in Fort Lauderdale, hit me up because I know your dad lives down here, your pops lives down here, right? You said?
Yeah, he's in North Miami. Yep.
Yeah, so it's like my stomping grounds. I'd love to meet up with you, do something maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Right. How many people we still got on this thing?
70.
Oh wow, we lost 30. Damn.
They're still kicking though.
Old heads.
They passed their bedtime. Tonight. We went late tonight.
Rami, Seawolk, I'm out of here. Chat, Kosher. Deadly, everybody. Thanks for coming through, man.
We're running it down for sure. Have a great night, Kosher.
All right. Later, you guys have a good night.
I'll say my piece as well before I let Rami close it down here. But Phil, thank you so much. It was really nice to talk with you. Well, you know, basically one-on-one in a lot of ways. Been following for a minute, continue to follow, and I can't wait to see where the brand goes. I'm going to hold Rami to chasing you down on part 2 because I can't wait, and so I'll be right there cooking and waiting for it. So, I appreciate you and thank you.
No, I can't thank you enough. Once I get my studio set up at my house, I'll definitely be back on. But before we go, let's give this. Is it Shannon Hudson?
Shannon. Yep.
Let's give her a shot. Go ahead, Shannon. Shoot your question because she's been.
There we go.
I can't type back, and I would type everybody, but
no, you're all right.
She said my husband graduated from Centerville in Dayton. What is it? I'm trying to see.
She already logged off.
No, I'm sure. I think she's still here. Let's give her a second. It's hard to read through all the comments. So, but yeah, everyone's saying thank you.
especially when it's moving. Chat, you guys rock tonight too. The chat was on. You know, talk about a good chat too. Like these guys, everything's been positivity all the way through. That's what's crazy. Like you go into some of these chats, it's just negative. This chat's been positive all night tonight. I love that. We got a good core crew that comes through on the regular right here for sure.
She said her husband gets all your stuff, just hard to get back home to Dayton.
That's only like 45 minutes away.
This was amazing, guys. Nah, thank you guys. Thank you, everybody. But yeah, Phil, thank you for coming on tonight and answering questions. Self-made man makes me want to go create something. Deadly Venom said.
Right?
Hey, go get
Motivates
to work.
You.
Go get to work. It's out there.
Motivates you.
Thank you for helping us when we can't make it, she said. She lives in she moved to Kansas.
She's a Mahomes fan now.
Oh yeah.
No.
Who do you like? You like your Bengals?
Of course, but I like all teams, like a lot of players. I just always want a good ass game in the Super Bowl, you know.
I'm a Raiders fan, so I deal with Mahomes twice a year and hate it.
But
I'm a Colts fan, diehard Indy.
Are you in Indy?
He's in Cali
I'm in Southern
now.
California, but
Okay.
I'm from Indy. I've lived out here now maybe about 20 years, but just under 20 years, but that's my home.
Gotcha. Well, yeah, man, this has been great, guys. I can't thank you all enough for all the questions in the chat, hearing me spiel. Rami, this is cool. Definitely have me back.
Whenever you want, man.
I'm locked in, and hopefully I'll be able to share some more exciting stuff next time. But
even if you're bored and you want to come hang out, like we're on just hanging out talking, and you just want to get up and you're bored, you want to bullshit, just jump on, let me know, and you're always welcome.
I will do my best, but like you saw, I kept
but
DMing you. I kept saying, "Hey, remind me."
I know.
Remind me. The amount of like emails and texts I've got now, like while being on this thing, is like, you just got to stay on me, because I'll just
have to text you now instead of like.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I'm so terrible. But I really appreciate it. It's been rad and it's been fun, and you guys are killing it. And I love what you guys do in the culture. So keep it up. And I'm a huge fan, and I'll definitely be back.
I appreciate it. Yeah, now hopefully I'll see you in a few months at the Korn concert.
Yeah, that's right. Let's go.
Right.
There you go.
All right, see you guys. Thanks
thank you for everything, man. Thank you. Oh man. So, dude, thank you everybody for coming through tonight. This was freaking awesome. We're a small channel, just growing a little bit here and there, but if you just subscribe tonight, I appreciate you guys for coming through. Don't let this be your only time coming through. Come hang out and enjoy your time with us. We talk about what's coming out, what's coming up. You get to hear my wife.
You should have voted for the superstar.
Oh, she's not happy. But yeah, so thank you all. Say goodnight, V.
Good night, V.
Oh, but yeah, so thank you guys all. Hit that like button on your way out and sub up. All right, you guys all have a great night. Love you all.
Rewatch the stream if you missed any of it.
If you missed anything, go back, rewatch it.
A lot of good information.
Yes. So thank you all. Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.